Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session of Roll for Damage, where a group of us geeky friends get together and showcase our storytelling for all of the interwebs. Welcome. I don't think we have any super big announcements this week. I know I didn't play Valorant last week because I got busy on the weekend, and I have to wash my dog tomorrow, so I don't know if it's going to happen this weekend either. But I'll try to stream some so that some people can try to get drops, because I know a lot of people want keys for it, so we'll see about that. Otherwise, we're probably going to have an announcement soon enough about another show we're probably going to be doing, so keep your eyes and ears out for that, as we want to put out more content now that we're kind of into the swing of things, as we're past our 2-month mark of streaming.
Yay!
Yeah. So I think with that, it's time to jump into tonight's session of Roll for Damage. All right. I'm just going to get us started here. All right. So, last we left off, our group of now adventurers turned investigators have been looking into the murder of the mayor's daughter in the town of Dehana, which they are passing through on their way to Avonhurst Rise. They managed to get favor with the sheriff and the mayor to be able to sort of case the town, staying out a bit later than the curfew placed on most of the other residents, and took some time to split up to try to investigate various areas that might have provided them important information in regards to this investigation. Dobby and Baltaim headed to the local brothel, where they attempted to persuade the owner and one of the women who works there to give them some information on Devin Asepher, who may or may not have frequented there. They don't know, as the employee was quite tight-lipped, and they were unable to gather much information from them. Oriana and Peregrine went back to the mayor's house to see if they could figure out anything more from the crime scene, and with some good deductive skills were able to learn that the water used in the murder seemed to come from a natural source, and was not, it didn't seem sort of arcane in nature in the sense like created, and didn't seem to come from like a freshwater source, like a bathroom or something like that. And then the two of Quinn and Sinric headed to the temple to look over the body of Maria and try to understand what exactly took place. Not really finding out much other than she did struggle, but not struggle against someone else, more struggled to perhaps breathe. They also attempted to convince the family of Maria, her father and mother, who were coming in to see her put beneath the ground and given a proper burial, if they could speak with her. But both of them were reluctant to allow their daughter's spirit to be used in that way, as it was against their faith. So they were unable to get much from that. The group convened at the tavern, and at the same time Baltaim and Dobby headed to the lake to actually see if they could figure anything out. They met with Devin Asepher and Elaine Calder, the sheriff's daughter, on his boat, and a bit of a back and forth ensued, and they were able to figure out that she might have been mad at him for being a bit of a playboy, but that she had actually pushed Elaine into the water, and if anything, it was her who was the violent one. You all convened and learned that there had been some history in the town, and that previous to the dam being created and the lake being created, there was a grove and druids who lived there who protested the creation, and so they went to speak with one of the previous druids, and yeah, the camera fucked up because someone left. So they went to speak with the Sarah, who was one of the sisters, and she explained to them that she thinks there was foul play involved, and she thinks that it had to do with the founders, but she had no proof. The group reconvened and decided that likely whatever is happening here, it maybe has to do with the lake, but there was likely another murder that was going to occur, and they thought that it was going to be Carol. And so they headed to her house to protect her for the evening. They went to bed, taking watches and shifts, with Peregrine sleeping in the room, seeming to have a quiet evening. But when they awoke, they were told by her butler that a murder had been committed in the evening when they were asleep, and Elaine Calder had been found killed. So, that is where we pick up. What would you all like to do, as it is the morning? Actually, we have a little bit of technical difficulties, so I'm just going to put this on.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you are awake as Cogs just burst in, and said, Elaine Calder has been found murdered. in the evening, and you saw Carol, and she got up and rushed out alongside Cogs as they headed downstairs.
Could I do a quick insight check on Carol's reaction?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, same.
Okay, cool. You go first.
Okay.
I don't want this to turn out.
Dirty 20!
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's get this party started.
Is anyone else making an insight? You said you wanted to, Dobby.
Yeah. Sorry,
I wouldn't mind giving it a
lag is
try.
kicking in
I
bad.
guess I'll make one just because.
Come on.
Well, Quinn's not even there.
Yeah, you all were waking. I said everyone was
yeah, we
coming
were all
out of their
together.
rooms.
Everyone
Yeah,
does
at
one.
this point.
Let's not pay attention to what I got. That's not.
So, those of you who rolled above 16, she was seems honest. Like she was frightened and surprised, and at first she didn't really believe like another murder was going to happen. Even when you came to her house, she was like, okay, I feel safer, and she was worried, but kind of like, is this really necessary? Now she is like, something is going on.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Well,
That's not what I expected.
No, this did
I
not go as I
am-
thought.
y'all color me shocked.
This is not, well, what we expected at all, was
Well,
it?
It's not the
No.
outcome we expected, but it is.
No, but it
solved.
does help us. It means someone doesn't like Devin Asepher. And most likely is setting this asshole up.
That is possible, and
I mean,
we need to get out and get more
This
information.
is the second girl he was fooling around with, who is now
Let's
no
let's find
longer
out
with us.
if there's any connections with this murder previously. It could just be random. I doubt that, but it could be random.
Yeah, I would like to turn to. Was it Graves that she had busted in?
I think they're gone.
Yeah, they ran
already
downstairs.
gone.
They ran
Her-
downstairs.
her and
I
Cogs
would like
already
to
left.
follow them.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
going.
immediately.
Okay, so you go rush after them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in there with them.
And as
Yeah, I would
she
like to
she
get
had
ready to
thrown
go.
on like a robe over as she had rushed out of her room, she kind of threw on a robe and rushed off after Cogs. And as you guys sort of come down the stairway back from that hallway and come down sort of that large stairway into her foyer, you see her conversing with it looks like a guard at the door to her manor. And she's speaking with him very quickly before you watch him turn around and exit, and she sort of closes the door behind him and turns to Cogs, and she just kind of looks at him, and they both are kind of in a bit of a state of shock as you come down into the main central foyer with them standing there, and they kind of look over to you, and she goes, "Oh, my apologies. I had to speak with the guard of the city. They wanted to see if anything untoward had happened last night.
No need to apologize, Mom. Can you tell us though, where did it happen? Was it with the,
I don't know. They were just asking me. They informed me that she had been found, and that they wanted to come to see if anything strange had happened here in the evening that I had noticed. And I told them, no, I had all of you here with me, and as far as I know, I was asleep, but you had watches and things like that, and I don't think you noticed anything strange, right?"
Nope.
No, we did not.
So I just told them I told them that you would probably be along later on, but that as far as I knew, nothing had occurred.
Yeah, we need to be along sooner than later, I think.
Agreed.
As she says that, I'm walking to the door, trying to catch
Oh,
that guard.
of course. Please do be careful. Poor Sheriff Calder. His daughter. I mean, this is terrible.
Before we leave, I think we need to discuss something very quickly. Just in case, considering us being here may have been a deciding factor in exactly who it was that was taken in the night. Would you mind if we stayed here again, just to make sure everything is safe?
I mean, of course, if you're the deterrent, yes,
We
but
may have been, and I'd rather not stay somewhere else and find out.
I
tomorrow
hope
that
you're
we
able
were
to
wrong.
find this. If someone's gonna, who are? I mean, I don't understand why Elaine and I mean, is it young women? I mean, it's possible I could be a target, but there's a lot of other young women in the city, and I mean, I would just hope that we figure this out before there are multiple bodies.
Well,
that are
that is
found this
exactly
way.
what we intend to find out.
Well, that's the goal.
But yes, of course, you're welcome back here. You've been nothing but helpful and kind. So, yes, if you need back, I will inform the guard, and Cogs knows that you're welcome back here. So please just come by anytime.
Okay.
Right, thank you. We appreciate that.
Real quickly, out of curiosity, just how long has the current sheriff been sheriff?
About 20 years, I believe.
Okay.
I think pretty much since the town was sort of began to grow. But I that's just a guess from I never really looked into it, but I mean,
So he's been here long enough to be known.
Oh yes, the town knows him well, and all of the founding families know him very well. So, I believe they appointed him. Not sure. Again, some of the history of the town happened before I was born, and I've only ever heard tales from people or my own parents. So, it's all a bit fuzzy for me. Hearsay.
Well, it's a bit fuzzy for everyone, but, hopefully it gets cleared up soon.
That's true.
Shall we, be off to take a look?
Yeah. We need to get ready and get out as quickly as possible.
I agree.
So I would want to make sure everybody gets all kitted up and ready to go, and then you said you were going to try and chase after the guard real quick, though, right?
He left.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
left at this point. You've been having this conversation, so
cool.
Yeah, so we need to rush.
Yeah. So I'd get the armor on and everything, because
Yeah.
I would probably take the longest. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not waiting. I'm already dipping out.
okay. Well, you're
Oh, trying to
leaving.
catch the guard.
But you go out into the streets and there's people walking around. You didn't exactly get the best look at his face. You can find guards. There are.
Yeah, I just
there
want
are
to try to
guards.
catch a guard.
Okay, yeah. You rush out and you maybe get 5-10 minutes down the road, and you do see a
Right.
guard that's just patrolling. And you call him over, and he just says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Excuse me, sir. I heard of what happened last night. Can you point me to where? Do you know where this happened at? This murder happened?
The death of the sheriff's daughter.
Yes.
I believe
Was
at
that
their
his
home.
house?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you point me in that direction?
Yeah, just down the street. You're going to want to this way. You're going to want to head close to the mayor's, but head just a bit right from her. It's about a couple of streets down. You'll probably see the commotion around the house. You really can't miss it.
Thank you, Count.
Cool. Yeah, let's book it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, do I have my armor on, or?
Alright,
Yeah,
you
we
sleep
got all
it?
kitted up.
Okay.
Yeah, you all had your.
Probably
I said
left.
you.
He has
Yeah,
heavy- yeah,
I
yeah,
said you
okay.
all. I said you all came out of your rooms, had gotten dressed when this all kind of happened.
So that might have
Okay,
that way
okay.
then, where he just
All
left
right,
us.
so you're all
So then,
heading
yeah.
off towards the sheriff's house. You start sort of rushing your way across the town, making pretty good time as you're moving quickly. It takes you maybe about 15, 20 minutes. You're pretty by the time that you get there, but you do see around this sort of, it's not a large house, but it's nice. Looks like some kind of bungalow-esque house. You do see a crowd of people kind of being held back by guards that are kind of like looking to see what they can see. As you come up to the area, you do notice Father Callum stepping out of the house, and behind him a couple of guards with a crate. Looks like just a plain old wooden box, as they're carrying it with them, about to head and turn out of the crowd and begin to head down the street.
Okay.
And then you hear the guard saying, "Make way, make way!"
Okay, wait. Are they bringing the car? They're bringing the box out of the house?
Yes.
Yeah, I would run straight up to Callum because he's the first person I know that will speak to me.
Okay, as you rush forward, you get held back for a second. Whoa, whoa, whoa! This is an investigation of a murder.
Yes, we're part of that investigation.
Show the pin.
You show the pin, and he's like, "Oh, okay, you're free to go through."
Thank you, sir.
Of course. And he lets you guys through as you head up, and you see Father Callum starting to walk away to in the direction of the temple, where you know it is. With these, there's like about 4 guards that are like hoisting this plain wooden casket, basically.
Oh, okay. And the casket is big enough
for a body.
Like, is it
a humanoid body?
Okay, because I want to know, is it like actually a casket, or did this look like it was a box with
It's not a
remains
casket. It's basically a way for them to take this body through the streets without carrying a body in a sheet through the streets.
Right. I just want to make sure it wasn't
water
like
dripping.
pieces of a person in a box.
Yeah, you can't see anything. The box is closed at this time.
Right.
But
it's big enough to like.
Yeah,
impact
you can
body.
assume that the
Okay.
reason, like, Father Callum is. Okay, we have technical difficulties again, guys. Sorry, one more second. All right, sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Apologies. Okay, so yeah, this is what you see. You see this box. You do not see anything dripping from the box.
Okay.
At this point.
Hey, I don't know any of these people, so I'm gonna go into the house.
Okay, so as Father Callum continues to walk away with the 4 guards, and you see them begin
Can I
walking
follow?
out.
Oh, can I follow?
Yeah,
Father
you
Callum?
can follow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
Go with-
Balthame into the house.
Same.
Okay. All right. So you 3 are going into the house. Dobby, you're following. What, Quinn and Sinric, what are you guys doing?
I would actually be going along with Father Callum. I want to try and walk and talk on the way to where he's going.
Yeah,
So I
I'll-
get some details from him.
I'll offer to help carry the box.
Okay, as you come by,
really
Father
wanna look at this
Callum,
body.
the other guards kind of look around and then look to him, and he goes, "They're helping with the investigation. Their help is appreciated," and they kind of make room for you to kind of put your shoulder underneath of it and like help lift the box as well. And then he turns to you and he says, "Ah, my boy, you're back again under dire circumstances once more."
Yeah, I wish I could meet under better circumstances, Father. But seems this is what we've got, unfortunately. Can you tell me, how did the young lady die?
Drowning.
Seems far. And in her bed?
She was in her bed when she was found by her father. Again, she had not woken up for breakfast meal. He went in to check on her, and she was unresponsive. He attempted to wake her up and realized that she had been taken in the night.
This is quite unsettling.
Got you.
to say the least.
So he's talking to Father Callum, or he's talking
Yeah,
to
he's
one
talking
of
to Father Callum, who's
Gotcha.
standing
Can I
at the
talk
head
to
of
one
this
of the-
procession.
because Cimric is helping the guards move the body with the box, right?
Yeah.
Got you. I'm trying to talk with one of the guards. I'm like, yo, my man, did you move Maria's body? Were you one of the guys who moved Maria's body?
Maria's? No. We were here this morning for this. There's the guards who handled Maria are probably patrolling right now.
Got
Yeah.
you. I then kind of quickly two-stepped over to Father Callum. I'm like, yeah, Father Callum, were you able to see Maria's body when it was getting transferred? Or
Yeah,
were you seeing
I
it?
was the one who proclaimed her passed and
Okay.
the cause of death, which I had assumed. And I was the one who took her body and prepared it for it being interred.
Okay. Do you know
I
By
assume
any
that you
means.
two, he like looks between you and Quinn and he goes, I assume, and then Sinric, who's like helping, I assume you're working together.
yeah,
Yes,
these are my
that's right.
associates. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I just have never met you before, so being questioned
oh,
via...
yeah. I put
new
out my
friends.
hand.
Apologies, he's not one on manners.
For a handshake.
He
I'm
takes
Dobby
it. He takes it gently, and he goes, Dobby Pons. I'm Father Callum. It is a
Well,
pleasure
nice
to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Father. I've been tasked by the mayor with the blessing of the sheriff to help with these investigations. So
Yes, I know.
appreciate you.
Quinn and Sinric came by yesterday
yeah.
to ask a few questions and
Yeah.
learn about Maria's passing. So I understand.
Yeah, and I appreciate you working with my associates here.
Of course,
been
if
very
I can
open.
help. I mean, I don't want this to continue happening. This is terrible. These are young
Between you and me.
women
Between-
who had a full life ahead of them.
between you and me, how is the sheriff, from the stories I've heard, that my friends here told me what happened with Lord Kane and the Mayor Kane coming in there and not wanting to converse with their daughter's spirit. Do you think is the sheriff also a man of would he be willing to have us speak to his daughter? to
I
help
don't
solve this
know.
crime?
But if you had just lost your child and you were asked that question, think about how you might take it.
Yes.
True. I mean,
You
I
may need to
understand,
give a little bit of time,
Yeah, right now it's not the
which
best
we
time
may
to
not
ask him.
have, honestly, but it is very sensitive to ask someone that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the mayor and her husband have a certain faith. I'm not sure if Calder follows that same faith, but they also had a couple of days or a day and a bit to at least swallow some of what happened, and yet they were still very hesitant to allow that to be performed. So I don't know. You can attempt to talk to him, just be gentle.
Got you. Cool. Thanks for the heads up.
Of
And
course.
I start walking back, kind of in my own space.
Okay, you're walking back to the house?
Well, no, I'm following, but I'm just
Oh, you're following.
secluded
okay,
in my own
okay.
space. Yeah.
So he continues on with you guys as Baltaim, Perry, and Oriana, you head sort of into the house, and there are guards stationed on either side sort of the door, but they nod at you as you show the pin and head inside. And you see various guards sort of throughout the rooms. And they you kind of ask around, like, where was she found? Where's her bedroom? Because I assume that's where you're heading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they point you, and you head sort of down a hallway, past a couple of other rooms, and the doors are currently like closed. And you've turned to the left-hand side, and you see a brightly colored bedroom, like sky blues. You see in the corner, sitting on like almost like a rocking chair, the sheriff with his head in his hands, kind of like rocking back and forth, clearly upset. You see a couple of guards kind of casing the room. You see one kind of over near her bathroom area, kind of like looking around, trying to like find any clues, kind of like getting on the ground, like picking up dust and trying to like see what it is. And another one like over by the window, kind of like looking out, kind of looking around. The bed is unmade, sheets tossed, and you still see sort of like the indent of where she had laid on the bed and pillow.
I'm just gonna go like to the sheriff and kind of just like not say anything.
As you come in, he kind of like looks up from his sort of stupor, and he sees you and he says, "I see you're here."
I'm sorry for your loss, Sheriff. I truly am.
I appreciate that.
We would like to do whatever it takes to help you
Well,
find this culprit.
tell me that you have something useful.
Maybe look around the crime scene.
Let's get a look around first. Maybe we can take something.
Go ahead. There's nothing that we've found that could be of any real help, but if you're able to find something, be my guest.
Knowing what Perry and I found last time, I'm gonna look for that stuff again.
And I'm gonna
Yeah,
look
I'm
for,
gonna
footprint
look
if
for
that's
the-
one thing I saw.
Okay, so
For the same kind of silt.
Okay,
pencil, that sort of thing.
So Perry or Ori, one of you make a investigation with advantage, and Baltaim, go ahead and make an investigation.
I'll go ahead and take it.
Yeah.
23.
Investigation.
The bed is still slightly damp.
That point.
The bed is still slightly damp, and looking closely, you do see some of that trace of silt from a natural occurring water source, sort of in the crevices of the sheets. Baltaim, you're looking on the floor, and you do see, this is a much smaller bed. You see about 3 bare sort of prints on the floor, walking from sort of the end, just past the end of the bed, to sort of beside where Perry and Ori are standing, as they're kind of like casing the bed sheets and pillow.
I'm gonna lean over to Oriana and try to kind of whisper, I don't know how they'd feel about me turning into a mastiff, but if I could smell in here, I might be able to smell if it smelled the same.
I'll walk over to the sheriff and, Sheriff, my associate Peregrine here has a ability that might seem alarming, but I'm wondering if you would allow us to use it.
Ability?
She can turn herself into a bloodhound.
He kind of looks over at you.
Well, a mastiff, but
I am a druid of the Ocean people.
A druid.
oh shit.
I am. Yeah, this is not good. But Perry doesn't have any other options here. I'm of the Ocean, from the Forest of Whispers. My people
No.
are healers.
You want to turn into animals? Go do it somewhere else.
We understand, Sheriff. That is why we wanted your blessing on this. We will not. I look over at Perry. We will not do such things here.
No.
Yeah, your people have been enough trouble in this town before.
Sheriff,
And he just turns away from you.
Sheriff, I reckon you were for the dam then, if that's the case.
I
reckon you were for the dam.
Yes, I was.
Were
It
you,
has helped our people prosper.
That's fair. Or were you a strong proponent?
No, I was just here, and I disagreed with the fact that a few people wanted to prevent the livelihoods of hundreds, potentially thousands. So,
Can I insight check him?
yeah, go ahead.
Does it seem like like this whole thing with him and like Perry like changed to a dog is just like really awkward? Like, does that seem like there's like really something bitter about that?
Go ahead and make an insight.
5.
He has lost his daughter.
Yeah.
He is upset. And there has already been problems, as you know, in the history of the town that likely he had to potentially deal with. And he is just not in the mood. This is his home. He is the sheriff. You're lucky enough to have gotten a chance to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Which at this point, he says, I think you've done enough investigating in my house. I'll take it from here.
We appreciate the time, sir.
Yes,
And
sir.
again, we are sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Sheriff, just one last question. If you could
No,
indulge
I'll
me.
tell you, this man has suffered enough.
I
and
think
I'm
you've
actually gonna start
run out of
fishing.
questions from me at the moment.
Farewell.
And he kind of looks over at the guards, and they kind of like nod, and they like kind of look over at you and expect you to kind of enter.
Yeah,
exit.
I can show
I'll-
myself out.
Yeah,
It's
they're
fine.
not
I'm very
pushing you. They're
sorry.
just kind of
And
like
I'm just
looking
gonna
at
walk.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you walk out, they kind of you watch as like one guard, as the last of you kind of leaves, like closes the door, doesn't shut it, but just closes it for you not to be able to kind of see in the room again.
Well, that was very interesting.
Before I walk all the way out,
Mhm.
can I pause after the door is closed and just listen briefly?
You can, but there are other guards in the house that are, like I said, in other rooms, so they can kind of see you just stopping there. They will be able to.
Never mind then.
Okay. And you see them, like, as you're walking down, you see, like, another one in the kitchen kind of, like, looking around at the various parts of the kitchen, investigating. You see, like, another one in, like, the living area kind of, like, looking around for anything that might have indicated someone entering the home or whatnot. Like, they're trying to go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, basically.
I'll just
As you-
say,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah.
saying that we're walking away, right?
Yeah, as you're
Mhm.
walking out, you make your way sort of out of the house and past the two guards that are kind of like guarding. They kind of nod at you, and you're back out into the street, where you see the crowd at this point has dispersed a little.
Yeah.
There are still a few guards kind of like keeping people back from the house, but it isn't as large as when you first got here.
Right.
I'll just say to Peregrine, I'll just say that was quite a strong reaction. I know he is grieving, but we're not even sure that Druids have done this, and for a Druid you're not even of this town, it's a very strong reaction.
No, but stories and rumors gather over time.
I don't think it has anything to do with stories and
That's
rumors.
what I'm saying.
I think it specifically has to do
With Druids.
with those two druid ladies. I don't
They-
think this is about that boy.
I don't think so either, but then again, I never really expected it to be.
I think this is about the founding of this town and the building of this dam.
Well, that
And
boy
they-
is connected to that, too.
Yes, but what I mean is, Darby's idea is that
Right.
they are framing that child. I don't think they are. I think they are specifically targeting the families involved in building that dam and the disappearance of her sister. I
We have
need
a-
back in that room. If I could just
But
when
not
things
going
are,
to.
I understand, but when things are fresh, I could smell it. There's more there. Maria's room was old, but this just happened.
I think we're not going to be able to push our luck in this situation here.
Well, if that's the case, then I want to go to the lake.
That might
I
be our
think
best
the
bet.
answers are there.
We need to consider one other thing. We still have a meeting set up with Lord Asepher.
It is strange, is it not, that the two people dead first, though, are two people that were somewhat involved with his son.
Well,
I don't think it's any more strange than the fact that they were both at the lake on the same night.
Same night, too. I think that's quite strange still, though.
Well, like I said before, when they were telling us about how the dam was built, Asepher was the one in charge,
Yes.
right?
Right.
If he is the leader,
This
then
leads
he will be the last to be punished.
Yes.
Dread is scarier than what happens sometimes.
All the strings tie back to not his son, but at least to Lord Asher.
Maria died the nights that we arrived, or the mornings that we arrived in this town.
The night before we got here, yes.
No one died the night we slept at the inn. And then last night, another death.
Later.
I don't know if this is a pattern or not.
We don't have enough days to
Yeah, not
solve
quite
it
enough
out.
evidence.
Pattern, yeah. So something could happen tonight.
What
or it could be
time-
reprieve.
What time was the meeting set up for?
I believe it was the morning.
Yeah, just my notes just say meet with us for in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something like probably around like 10. At this point, you're probably getting close to 9:30 or so.
So
We should probably head over there first, and then immediately make our way back to the lake.
I agree. The only problem is Dobby and Fenric and Quinn are
If
not
we had-
here.
If we head in the direction that they went, I can send them a message of where to meet us.
Okay.
also,
I don't want to be late to this meeting.
Yeah, it might be best if we could just go, perhaps.
Yeah, the temple's in the opposite direction of the Asepher mansion.
We're going to have to do this meeting without them.
Although I find Dobby's vigor and straightforwardness refreshing. It's not usually the one to rub right against people.
He's not exactly diplomatic.
Correct.
Bless him.
All right, you guys begin heading off towards the Asepher mansion.
Yep.
All right. The three of you, you finally make your way to the temple, and you watch Father Callum guide the box back to that room where you had originally, you and Quinn had originally looked at the body, and they place it down. And Father Callum just says, "You can go back to your posts. I can take it from here." And the guards just nod and they say, "Call us if you need us, Father." And he just says, "Of course. I appreciate your help." And they just bow and kind of walk out past you guys.
Once the guards go, I would like to try to get another look at, get a look at the body and see if I can just catch any similarities between what happened with Maria and what happened here.
Yeah, he before he opens it, he heads back out for a second, and around, like you're kind of like left there for about a minute or so. And when he comes back, you see an older gentleman, gray-haired, and the young boy that you had seen originally, with blonde hair, and he says, "Dimitri, Eric, can you please help me lift the body out of the makeshift casket so that we can prepare her for interment?" And Dimitri, "Yes, of course." And Eric says, "Yeah, no problem." And they're kind of like, he's kind of like looking at all of you. He had seen you before, but he's kind of like shifting his eyes around to all of you, feeling a bit weird.
I don't want to try and move Dobby's head just to get a glimpse of Eric.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Kind of try
he can
and
see him.
stealthily point him
He
out.
can see him. Like he's coming into the room. He's not like stealthily. Like Dobby's standing there with you guys, so he sees this kid come in, and they lift the body onto sort of a slab, that same stone slab that you'd seen Maria on, and then you watch as Eric and Dimitri grab this makeshift casket and start carrying it out of the room. And Father Kellum says, yes, that will be enough until I call for you to prepare the burial site. Thank you, Dimitri. Eric. And they both nod, and he says, of course, and heads out past you. You're left, the body is kind of there. She's still in her clothes as he says, if you're interested, before I begin getting her ready for what is to come, you are welcome to inspect.
Thank you, Father. I appreciate that letting us have access to it. I know this is not usually done. It's entirely out of the ordinary, but nevertheless.
Well, if you can help this strange time, and you've been given access by the mayor and by the sheriff, so of course, just be careful and yes, don't do anything untoward.
No, of course not. So I would want to just go through what they've got of her belongings, just take a look at the body, see if there's the same sort of signs of being drowned, trying to struggle against something, like literally everything that we saw before.
Okay.
I want to see if we see here.
Go ahead and make an investigation. Dobby, make a perception. Yeah, perception.
My investigation is 14.
Okay, not bad.
Not garbage.
Okay. Okay, Dobby, you don't notice anything. Okay, so Quinn, yeah, you begin looking over her again. Her skin is pallid at this point. She hasn't gone into full rigor mortis yet, as she's fairly fresh. She is starting to, her body is starting to sort of tense. You don't notice really, like, she's got her bedclothes on, so she's got like a simple sort of like shift on her body, like a nightgown. Nothing on her feet. And you don't really see any markings on her feet as you go down there. You do look at her hands, and they are slightly pruned, more so actually than Maria's had been, likely due to the freshness of what had occurred. You don't see any marks around her neck or anything like that. Her eyes are closed, mouth in kind of a resting position, but it also looks like a drawn a little bit open, maybe in a scream. It's hard to tell,
Right.
but it doesn't look like a natural resting position if you were just asleep.
Right.
Although it has, it's likely not as prominent as it was when she was originally murdered, likely due to her muscles just relaxing.
Okay. And only thing I can think of to try is the same thing that I did before. Maybe since this is fresher, I'll actually have a better result. Would I be able to take the 10 minutes to try and just do a detect magic?
Yeah, you ask the father again,
Yeah.
and he says, of course, you're welcome to attempt that.
Okay, so I would want to give that a shot just to see if anything.
Okay,
catches
you
my
take the
eye.
10 minutes. Are either of Dobby or Sinric, are either of you doing anything in this time?
I'm just gonna wait around.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait until they get
Okay.
the body ready, and then I'm gonna start looking at that if I can.
Well, he's like, you already saw Quinn going
I
over
am
the body.
actively doing that right now.
Yeah, he was
Got
actively
you.
looking at the body, and as he's looking at it, he's been telling you guys, like, same, like, her fingers are pruned, same as Maria's were when we looked at her. It doesn't have any markings around her neck. Looks like she had her mouth open slightly, maybe trying to call out, not sure.
Okay.
And then you
Okay,
see
yeah,
Quinn starting to, like, draw his symbols on the ground and holding his holy symbol and beginning this ritual cast.
Just gonna let him do his thing. He's pondering what's going on now.
Okay. All right. So 10 minutes goes by, and your detect magic goes off, and you notice a bit of magic coming from Father Callum, as you did last time.
Okay.
But other than that, you don't notice anything. And the magic on him is enchantment. Likely something he's either wearing or has on him. You're not sure.
Yeah, I figured it would be a long shot. I would, yeah. So I just pointed out everything I saw just to Cindric and to Dobby, especially to Cindric because he's the one that found the
original pruning, on Maria. Yeah.
Yeah, he discovered that, so I point that out to him especially, and just concluded with it. This is frightfully exactly similar to the other. This is. We have found a water-based serial killer. This is incredibly disturbing. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on the matter, but I'm at a loss for where to go from here.
Well, it might be time to give the lake a visit and see if there's anything odd there.
Yeah, so we definitely want to see what's up there. After we have that meeting we're supposed to have, what time was that going to be?
I have no idea.
So then turn to Dobby and say the same thing. What time was that supposed to be?
What I remember.
Make a history.
$17.
You know it was at around 10.
And what time is it now?
It is
Sorry.
probably bless you, no problem. It is probably close to 9. Well, you've spent time inspecting the body
Yeah.
and taking it here. Probably 9:45, 9. Like it's getting close to 10.
Okay. Do we think we could make it over there?
You could try to rush. You might be slightly late, but you might make it within 5-10 minutes if you book it. But you'll have to really book it.
Yeah. Okay, then yeah, I would want to point out the time then. Oh shit, we're gonna be late, and just find the father. Father, thank you. We may be back later on, and we have an appointment we need to make. And good day to you. And then just zoom.
Of course, I will continue my work here. And okay, you guys begin rushing out, and you run towards the Asepher mansion. The three of you, Oriana, Baltaim, and Peregrine, you get there and show the note that you received. Who has that?
Ooh.
That Oriana?
Yeah, Oriana has it.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so Oriana, you present the note that you were given to meet with the Asephers, and the guards nod and open the gate for you. And you notice this is, a very, well, you already saw it once before, but a very ostentatious mansion. Large grounds, has a couple of beautiful hedges and flowers in the front. As you walk up the path, a door opens and a young woman stands there, and she says, you are here to meet with Lord Asepher. Please come in. He is waiting in his office for you. And she lets you in and closes the door behind you and takes you into the office area. You see this large sort of it's almost like it's like a study. There's quite a few bookshelves, a large desk, which you see a man with dark brown hair blue eyes, a trimmed sort of goatee sitting behind. He's got very fine, a very fine sort of shirt on. Looks like some sort of robe over top of it. And he nods as this woman brings you in. He says, "Please, have a seat. You wished to speak with me the other day, and I wasn't available to help you with your investigation. I'm happy to answer your questions as best as I can." And he leaves. There's chairs for all of you to sit in front. He's got this like large desk. He's got something like a book in front of him, although it's closed, and a writing like quill beside it, sort of off to the side. And he kind of like sits down and puts his hand on his chin, and he says, and you hear the door click behind you as she gently leaves, and he goes, "So, how can I answer your questions?"
Your son all right before we start, Lord Asepher?
As far as I know, nothing has happened to him. I believe
I
he
believe-
went out earlier.
I believe my friend here is alluding to his emotional state.
Right.
As
People very close to him have died fairly recently.
yes, it's two
seems.
young ladies that he seemed to be involved with.
Oh my, I had no idea he was involved with Sheriff's daughter.
But you didn't know about Maria?
I didn't know they were involved at all. They've been friends growing up since they were kids.
Right.
But I don't exactly keep a bell on my son, so
Of course.
if he is seeing people, there's not much I can do about that.
No, it's nothing about doing it. Just was hoping that he was all right with his with the comings.
He
happening
seemed.
lately.
I mean, he was upset about Maria. I mean, he wasn't exactly breaking down and crying all over the place. But that's not my son's personality, really. I saw him very briefly this morning before he left, likely to go to the lake. He likes to use my boat when I can't, so. Perhaps
Speaking
that's why
of-
he left so early. I couldn't tell you.
Speaking of the lake, sir,
Yes.
we are interested in knowing a little bit more about the history of the town itself. We understand that it sort of boomed after the creation of the dam, and that you had a hand in setting up such an amazing feat.
Oh, right. Yes. Well, I was here long before the other lords, Ison and Keen. They came from the capital while I was still doing my mining business here, and the mines were still producing plenty. But I knew that mining would not last forever. So it is a non-renewable resource. When a mine dries up, there's not much left. And so I agreed with them to use some resources to help them build the dam, to help agriculture and tourism and general life around this area, produce jobs and create growth. So we built the dam.
Purely for my own curiosity, what sort of minerals do you exhume in the mine?
Mostly iron. It's
Iron.
not exactly gold, which would be lovely, but it can be used in a lot of weaponry and various other smelting. We're not that far from Dash. Dash uses a lot of iron in the building of their city and the various pieces that are used in their piping and things like that. So it's been lucrative enough. And then there are other areas, such as even Velheim itself, that we've sent some of our ore to. We have hit various deposits of silver, which are also useful for weaponry and various other gilding and things like that people find decorative. But that has not been the majority of the business. It's mainly iron ore.
I see. I was just curious. I've heard around town that there were people opposed to the dam.
Yes. I mean, naturally, when you attempt to do something like this, there's always going to be those who know that the landscape will change. And we had a group of people who were against and protested the creation. But that lasted for a short period, and eventually we were able to continue forward with our work peacefully.
I'm sorry, I'm not well versed in terms and such a business like yourself, but like what would you call a short period? Like a year or so, half a
Oh,
year?
no. Must have been maybe a month or two.
So there's no hostilities after. Well, running.
There was no hostilities at all. I mean, it was all peaceful protesting, and we had the guard at the time, and before he was sheriff, Calder, to help us make sure that nothing got violent.
He was a guard.
He was a constable, I believe, for the guard at the time. It was a very small town. I worked with him, of course, because I was the main business here. But due to his peaceful way of breaking up the protests, all of us, as the founders of what Dehana became, decided to promote him to sheriff of the town, as he did a very good job.
Okay. Does he seem genuine, or
Can
does he seem
I
like he's
bullshit check?
Yeah.
yeah, or does he seem like he's hiding something?
Make a insight.
Ooh, that's
Away
just a
my
7.
ass.
That's just a 7. Oh,
Ah.
shit.
Nat 20.
Ooh, 22. Dang.
He is a very hard man to read. He doesn't seem like he's not being genuine about them appointing Calder, and that Calder helped with the protests, and that they felt that he had done well, and so they had enlisted him as to take over the town.
But
He definitely doesn't seem like he's giving you single thing.
There we go. All right. Okay.
He's
Yeah, he's a businessman.
He's a businessman.
Yeah, he doesn't reveal.
He knows what to reveal, and
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
So you notice that, Altaim. The two of you are just like, he's hard to read, but you can't tell if he's hiding anything from you.
Right.
Any other questions? I'm a very
that,
busy man, and I do want to answer everything I can for you, but
Of course.
Yes.
I don't mean to cast aspersions on you, and I know this is coming from not the best of sources, bias, but the one of the people I believe that opposed the dam being made, she is quite believable, quite in the belief that the three of you, had something to do with her sister going missing. Is that?
I knew he was going
I know
for
that-
that, and I wanted
know
to say
that-
something.
That's
know that
very
sounds-
interesting.
Yes.
I mean,
I just would like to hear from you what your recount of the situation. We're trying to get.
they were
anything to help.
protesting, and I don't have any idea what happened to her sister.
I would like to be watching his reaction to this very, very closely.
Okay, go ahead and insight check him. He says to you.
Come on, 22.
He says to you. I'm gonna roll for this. Okay. He says to you. I think it's interesting that one of the people who opposed our business is the one that's casting these thoughtless claims against my family and the other lords who have made this town into what it is. But I suppose, you know, if you're upset about something, you naturally would point fingers.
The person with the highest power usually is the one with the most burden.
Perry, you also can tell he's very hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
He is hiding. He's definitely hiding something. You don't know what.
My apologies. I don't mean to be rude. It was something we had found in our investigation. We just need to cross off every thing on our list. You understand?
Well, generally you don't use claims that have no basis in fact and no evidence.
Yes, but
we apologize.
If every time someone said that I had done something poorly or against the law, and I had someone come at me and tell me I had done this, I'd be in jail 1,000 times over.
Correct.
So as an investigator, if you truly are one, before you talk to someone and attempt to assuage their guilt, you would bring evidence rather than just opinion, especially of someone who was opposed to them.
Guilt. I was not trying to cast guilt. I did qualify.
Well, what did you expect me to say? Oh yes, of course. I
just would like to hear your
Lord,
side of
took
it.
her sister and put her somewhere.
Lord Asepher, I apologize for my colleagues. That was an improper question to address to someone as yourself. We will go ahead and take our leave now. We have taken up plenty of your time.
Yes, well, I wish you luck on your investigation. I hope you're able to find the person who is doing these things. Considering the questions you're asking, I'm not sure you're up to the task, but that's just business, I suppose. You may show yourselves out.
Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us. And I'm
Yes,
going to actually push like my hand on the small of their back and like we are leaving now.
Orion, I've got it. I'm fine.
And he just watches you as you walk out. He has a very close eye on all of you. And you feel it on your back. But as you leave the room, you see that young woman again, dressed very professionally. And she says, I will show you out now. At this point, the rest of you end up getting to the front of the manor. And you see the door open and the three of them walk out at the front. And
does it look obvious that they're being asked to leave and ushered out?
They're not being asked to leave. Like, they
No, we
left.
left
Like,
on our own,
they're
yeah.
not getting pushed out. The lady opens the door kindly for them and kind of, like, gestures for them to leave. And they're leaving of their own volition. So...
Oriana made that decision before they made the decision for us.
I was going to leave. The question was important.
But, yeah, you watch them walk down the entrance, and the gates open for them. And they come out and they see you, and you see Quinn, Dobby, and Cinnamon kind of standing there. Do we miss it?
Good, you're already warmed up. Let us go to the lake now, yes?
What?
What happened with the...
We're going to the lake now. We're going to the lake now.
Let us walk and talk. I'll just say this much as soon as we're out of earshot of everybody else. That man is so full of shit. His eyes are brown.
But can we talk and less
Interesting expression.
Could we just take a break real quick? Cause, yo man, my stubby
Yeah, you
legs.
guys like pull. You guys pull off to like the side of the road where like no one's kind of like watching you, and you're far enough away from the mansion at this point.
I'm too old for this shit right now.
And they're still, especially like Quinn, who's in like full
Heavy
plate,
armor.
or full
Yeah.
sorry, chainmail. Dobby's tired because he's got his little tiny legs.
It's quite interesting that he believes that such rumors will land him in jail.
Well,
It's not.
no, you just asked a very, very
No, I
self-centered
got
and
that.
self-assured man whether or not he had anything to do with that girl's death or that girl's disappearance. And I believe that he has. He was
Yes.
definitely hiding something.
Did you guys summarize what happened before you
Yeah.
launched into this
Yeah,
conversation?
we'll summarize
Very
the whole
short,
conversation.
very
Not
short
yet.
conversation.
Now they're going.
Okay.
Now they'll
I was
have
about to say,
to.
like,
Well,
There
I
wants to be
just-
very
Friend,
lost.
I'm sorry, what exactly happened?
Baltaim, my friend, you are very good at talking to most people. But I'm afraid that when it comes to men of stature and nobility, it seems like you, as the saying goes, you put your foot in your mouth.
I guess.
Also, Bull fucked up this time. See,
I
I told you,
wouldn't say he.
it's not always
I wouldn't
Dobby.
say he.
Okay.
well,
Well, Dobby, I wouldn't say he necessarily fucked up. More of just asked
he
the wrong
brought that-
question to the wrong person.
well, he did bring the conversation
yeah,
to
'cause you
quite
didn't
an
have
abrupt
The best person
ending.
to ask a sociopath questions is another sociopath.
Okay,
Well-
we don't know that this man is a sociopath.
Well,
We know that he is.
He is quite guilty of something.
I don't disagree with that statement, but you don't necessarily ask the person you think has something to do with this. Hey, did you, cause the disappearance of a young druid girl?
Well, I would just
Oh,
ask him.
speaking of druids, the sheriff does not like them at all and kicked us out the minute he discovered that I was one.
Yeah, because he's racist against druids. Even I know that.
Well,
I feel
Would
like
that not be racist? That not a race.
Discriminatory.
Let's not try
in
and put
nature.
a label on exactly
he has a
what kind
very
of hatred it
specific
is.
prejudice, let's put it that way.
I
He
like
was definitely
Yeah.
involved in stopping the protest in a peaceful way.
And he got rewarded afterwards. We found out. He was now always sheriff.
No, he was a lowly constable.
So we
Yeah.
have confirmed that both of the victims' parents were directly involved with stopping the protests against the dam. I think it's safe to assume that this is somehow tied to the missing girl.
I would also like to point out that both girls were at the lake before their deaths.
That is also true.
But did we ever ask Carol if she was at the lake? I don't think we did. I don't think she was ever at that lake.
I don't think so. She didn't mention the lake.
I think
I
she
mean-
said she
Mentioned
doesn't.
it, but it could be coincidence, but it could also be something that is helping.
I think the next thing we need to do is we definitely need to head to the lake as soon as we can,
Well, you do know who is out on the lake now, right?
Oh,
No.
yes.
The boy is out on the lake right now. Apparently, he makes frequent trips.
Yes. He rather enjoys the lake quite a bit. For whatever that is worth.
Well,
Well, shall we head out now that we've taken a moment to catch our breath?
okay, so I feel less like I'm going to vomit if I have to take another step. So I think we're okay to move on.
Seems prudent. Let us go.
Alright, so you guys begin your trek from the Asepher area towards the lake. Takes you about, at a decent pace, or normal pace, takes you about a half an hour, 45 minutes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You come to that open sort of area. You see the dock. There are a couple of small boats that are anchored there. You do not see the large boat, but as you look sort of out on the horizon, in the middle of the lake, you do see that vessel, Dobby and Baltaim, that you had seen the other day, denoting that likely Devon is sailing right now. As the
Okay.
sails are open, and it's kind of just gently sort of breezing around the lake.
I hate this kid.
So just I'll look out at the lake, at the about in the middle of the lake. Just sort of look back and forth. Right. Right. So do we want to just yell, or did you have a way of getting us out there? Maybe.
It's
Well,
easy.
We're not here to talk to him.
Yes.
We're here to investigate this lake.
I thought we may want to do both while we're here, and so was he.
Peregrine. Oh,
Yes,
Peregrine. I believe it is time for us a puppy.
I agree. Are there any people other than us, like, milling around?
No, not
Okay.
that you see around this area right now.
Okay.
It's maybe
Yeah,
like 11
let's,
o'clock, so still fairly early.
And
You don't
he's
see anyone.
he's out on the lake, right? He's not.
Yeah, he's out on the lake. Like, he's pretty far
Presumably.
away. He's like a few hundred feet away, maybe like
Mhm.
400 or 500 feet. Like, this is a fairly large lake at this point. And he's like
Presum-
out in the middle, dawdling, doing whatever.
Okay.
Hopefully
Well,
not being drowned on a boat.
Yeah.
Maybe, you don't know.
We don't
I mean, is there like a small boat that we could probably borrow?
There are a couple of boats that are anchored.
We're the worst.
Yo, we're borrowing the boat,
Diplomatic
not
community.
stealing it. But we
We're
should
the
definitely steal
worst!
this boat afterwards. So just saying.
I mean,
Okay.
Is there a
why
boat
did-
we can borrow? Why not a boat
But-
we can
I
hire?
mean, depending, like I said, right now there's not people around. You don't know.
They're not paying us for expenses. It's just
You
1,000
have
gold.
no idea.
Oh my
Yeah, man.
gosh.
Okay,
Not
well,
paying us for expenses.
Yeah. That's true.
I have a question. Why are we worried about getting a boat?
well, if
Right
we're
now.
going to
We're gonna
visit
meet them
Devin.
off in the lake because we can't just swim.
Okay, but I didn't think we were here to talk to him as he did not have any information.
Well, I thought we were here to kidnap the kid and take him with us.
What?
I like that idea actually.
Excuse
yeah.
me?
I am not participating in
Actually,
any...
not a
Tell me the
bad
idea we
idea.
had. Tell me the idea we had.
It's
okay?
not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. Okay.
That's just a terrible idea.
We have
Everyone
we have
that
two
has
targets.
died has been
We now
linked to this,
out of
this
the 4
kid.
targets we didn't know we have.
If we
We have 2
kidnap him
targets now.
and keep him
Kidnap
with
him.
us,
And take
and a
him.
murder happens, it proves
Exactly.
he has nothing to do with it.
I want you
Or
to
if they
take...
come after him,
I've-
we're ready.
I want
okay.
you to take a moment to appreciate what it is you are saying. You want to kidnap the son of one of the wealthiest men in this town.
Yep.
Who's a douche canoe? Yes.
Okay.
That has
I would
no
like
bearing
to
on
point out
this.
something very important. Some of these people now know what I am and who I am, and they don't like druids.
Yo,
and
that's
if
your
that boy
fault
gets
for telling them
missing-
that you are druid. First rule in the Dobby handbook, never release more than you're ready to release.
Okay, well, I had to tell him something so I could try
You've
to
had-
turn into a dog so I could smell.
You have many first rules also. This rule book is not numbered properly.
No, you see, if you don't go past one, either that, you can
Anyway.
rule
It's
one.
all important.
In ignoring the incredibly stupid idea of kidnapping the son of a very powerful man who
I know 3 of us think it's a good idea. Who else thinks it's a good idea? I think
Who
it's a
is
good
the
idea.
third?
I think it is the idea that it's
You see
not
Cynric,
the worst.
Baltaim, and Dobby put their hands up.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay, just because 3 of you think it's a good idea doesn't mean it's not a stupid idea. If you kidnap,
Kidnapping is a strong
For his
strong
own
word.
safety.
okay, I don't think that they're gonna give a damn
Mm.
whether you did it for his own safety.
Mm.
I have met this Lord Asepher. He is a first-rate asshole who is very convinced of his own power.
What if we promise him a good time and
That's
Get him
what more
drunk.
I was thinking.
Exactly. We still
That's
got those
more-
mushrooms, but then I can't go with him because we hate each other. And I'd probably kill the kid if he thinks we're having a good time.
Once again, you are talking about kidnapping.
Not kidnapping.
Okay,
we'll
can we
just-
Is the
maybe?
definition of kidnapping.
We,
well, at that point we're just watching
I
over.
just
the
turned into a
characters.
dog.
yeah.
Active custody.
You
I like
I
shoot
that.
just shift.
into the Mastiff.
I'm
Okay. You're a Mastiff. And about, like, as you begin to start sniffing around, you now see another person cresting over sort of the little hill that, like, gets to the lake, coming towards the other vessels. And they kind of see you there, they give you a nod. It looks just like an older gentleman. Looks half elven. He's got just light brownish, dirty blonde hair, a bit of sort of stubble on his face, simple commoner's sort of tunic and pants and boots, carrying like a bucket, looking like maybe he's probably going out to like fish for the day.
Okay.
He just walks by you.
I'm gonna follow Perry
Okay.
to like give the illusion I'm out walking with my dog or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll follow
I
on as well because I feel like
growl.
if I'm near the people that are in the kidnapping camp, I
Okay.
might.
I growl
might not, like,
at Dobby and Voltame and Cynric and begin to do a thorough sniffing
Okay,
of
what are you
the
looking for?
area. First of all, I want to see if this area smells like the water I smelled at Maria's.
You didn't really. You smelt. It was hard to tell, but go ahead and make a perception.
Okay. Advantage because I'm smelling stuff.
Gotcha.
22.
It smells like a freshwater lake. You didn't really get a good stench off of when you originally tried to sniff off of the off of Maria's, but what you did smell, it smells similar. Like it's like there's something different but similar. It's hard to wrap your head around because, like I said, you didn't get like the best
Right.
of whiffs because it was old. So there's something not quite the same, but something similar.
Okay.
But I'll say, like, you notice that there's definitely something that doesn't
Not quite.
match up.
Okay, interesting.
And yeah, you go around, and like with that perception, you do notice like various water flowers, water lilies at the like corners of the lake. You do notice like a little bit of algae on the sides. There's not really a beach. It kind of goes from like grassland into like more soggy, damp dirt, into like into the lake. You do notice sort of as you pad a little bit into the water, just on the edge, there are a few like little minnows that kind of swim away. So there's definitely aquatic life in this lake.
Okay.
But that's generally what you get.
Okay.
And then the lake opens, and then maybe 20 feet from this sort of lake is like sort of more forested area
Okay.
around 20 or 30 feet.
Okay. I don't.
And I'll say you probably like case a good few hundred feet, but to go around the whole thing, it would take you a while.
Yeah,
so
I'm
you
not
can
gonna do
go
that.
around the whole thing, but I'm thinking you're going up like one side of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you do that for maybe a good like 20, 30 minutes, just to see if you see anything. But that's kind of what you get. You do get that strong smell, but like I said, it's just something's off.
Something's not quite.
Like you almost have it, but there's something different.
Dan, for clarification, is the dam like what blocks the river and turned it into a lake, or did the dam cause a lake?
No, the dam blocked the river and turned it into a lake.
So there is no more river.
Pardon?
There's a river
Well,
past.
There's
Behind
a
the dam.
river that feeds
Behind it.
into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just probably
That's gonna be
swollen where the
pretty
dam
far
is.
away.
Mhm.
Because I had a thought, not that I can vocalize this thought unless I change back.
I'm gonna kneel down and kind of
Like you see past like I'll say like now you've gone like about half an hour. You do see past where the lake is. It looks like there is a river that feeds into this now lake area that goes away from, like it's going away from the town. And if you look on I'll just say like if you look on your map, you see that there is a river that actually feeds in from the sea. that like eventually goes out to the sea and becomes less fresh water and more like salt water.
Okay.
But it turns, I guess, passing through all the silt and dirt and everything like that, eventually becomes sort of fresh water, comes into this lake. And what they did is they dammed the other side, where originally this river probably flowed straight through and continued, but they dammed the other side to create this lake. There's probably still there is water as you've like walked along on the other side. It is just it's just more like it's less free flowing, or flows, but not as turbulent as it used to come in. You think maybe they do open the dam every once in a while because they don't want this lake to like eventually just like take over the whole area. So this dam just now constantly opens and closes when they need to let out some of the water. Obviously, like maybe when it rains too, they need to open the dam to let the flow happen. So you have seen like a river on the other side. It just doesn't flow in the same way. And you actually did see like walking up this way, you did see the dam, and actually you do see some sort of waterfallish water going into. It's just not a steady stream. It's like they allow a certain amount every so often to flow out of the dam into the river beyond, and then continue down towards I guess it would be the west, which is where the river flows. It goes from east to sort of west.
I'm gonna kneel down and scratch her behind the ears again, and just like, so where are we going next? Like trying to kind of give off the sensation that this is me and my dog.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. How?
I mean, at this point, there's not really any. You see that one like small boat. Yeah, because you've walked like 30 minutes away around the side of this lake. So you don't have to do that. But you do see like that one. You see that the large boat, and you do see that one sort of tiny fishing boat that's kind of now on the lake, and you see it's kind of like stopped, and the guy is. It's hard to see him, but you assume that he's sitting there
fishing or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just clarify something for me. Is it just me and Perry? Because
no, the whole group is there.
Whole group is there.
I think.
Whole group is here. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she was mad, but eventually they followed after you.
Yeah.
And,
How far away is the dam? Like, how long would it take us to get to the dam and like to the river behind it?
well, it would take you. It's another 30 minutes to get back towards there, and then probably another 15, 20 or so minutes to get past the dam towards the river.
It's only like midday, right?
I think it's more for her wild shape, because I think her wild shape. How long does your wild shape last right now?
My wild shape lasts an hour.
Yeah,
and
so
I get
you'd have to
I could,
re-wild shape.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, I could go half elf and take the time to basically recharge.
Yeah, you just have to take a long rest to do it. Like you couldn't be walking there and traveling and be taking a short rest.
Yeah, we would need to take like a picnic.
You'd actually have to.
Yeah, which is fine. We may stop for lunch. I may convince everybody to stop for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, are we all trying to go? Because I'm trying to wait for Devin Asepher to come back to shore.
Okay,
well, that's
you're
why I was asking
so what are you? Yeah, what are you guys doing at this point? You're on
what do you
like
wanna
the
do?
sort of right-hand side or the eastern side of the lake. 30 minutes up. You're maybe a few hundred feet up, as like Perry's been taking her time to sniff like portions of this, so you're not been dashing that way. He's still 100, like he's in the middle of the lake. He's like 100, like probably 500 feet out from you. And you'd have to come a few hundred feet back towards the docks, as that's likely where he will finish his day. You don't know how long you don't know how long he's gonna be on the water.
Out there. Yeah.
No problem. I mean, guessing how like what they're gonna be doing, and if we were talking to this in group or everything, I'm gonna be like, Dobby's gonna be like, well, yeah, you guys, you do you, okay? You follow the nose. Dobby is gonna question this asshole again. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. I'm gonna follow him. You know what? I'm gonna follow him. Yeah.
Right, you're gonna follow the man on a boat from the land.
When he comes back to shore. Okay, I'm not gonna go in the fucking lake.
Well, Dobby cannot go do this alone. We know that how his previous interactions have gone.
Leave me alone, not leave me alone, I don't care. I'm following this guy. If someone's gonna follow me, please be someone that knows how to do stealthy shit, okay?
I am curious, what are we hoping, just to clarify, what are we hoping to find with, she can't talk right now, but with her smelling, what are we hoping to find? Just something similar to...
I will go ahead and shift back Because
Okay, yeah, you're
that's
far
half my
enough
fly
out
tip
of
anyway.
yeah, like no one's gonna see you. So you shift back into your half elven form.
Well, this smells like Maria's room, but not like Maria's room. There's something not quite right.
Not quite right, like how?
I don't know. Something smells different. Like,
I'm not an expert on these things, but would the dam change the smell of the water and the area around it?
Whole new area, it would be feeling new.
You can make an
dirt.
intelligence
Yeah.
check if you want, or a nature actually. Make a
can
nature.
I make a nature check to see if, like,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. Okay.
I mean, the
Could I make one too?
salt content
go
would
ahead.
probably change the way it smells.
We're gonna. There we
It's a flat
16.
10.
16.
Generally, no. I mean, yes, like what Cynric said is true, like salt content, but you're far enough inland at this point, and you've like, as a dog, I'll say like you took just a brief lick of the lake to taste the
Yeah,
water.
I would have
It was
tasted the water.
fresh. It is not. It is not salty, so it's likely come in far enough inland that that at this point the salt has been filtered out just naturally
Yeah.
in the river to make this lake. So the river passed. Generally, no, it's probably not gonna smell much different. It's the same water source that is filtering, unless they're treating it with something as it moves through the dam,
Okay.
which doesn't seem like it's not like this isn't like a Hoover Dam sophisticated
Yeah.
dam system. It's like a very it's like a rudimentary like just decent.
It'd be
dam.
almost like a lock then.
But yeah, it's just got like simple floodgates that can like open and close, and at the top the floodgates can open slightly to let just enough water go through so that this lake only gets so large and doesn't overtake the land. And so you were thinking like, given the construction of what you've seen, it's unlikely that the river passed maybe far enough down, but it might take a while to go that far to see like a change in the like aquatic life and what
Which we've
what it smells
seen,
like.
There's life in this lake, so it can't be too different.
Okay.
Would a druid be able to change the contents of the water? Not quite
I mean,
sure about y'all magics.
not necessarily, but something about this water is different than the water. I mean, it smells the same, but not the same. It's hard to.
Perry, make another nature.
Okay. 18.
Okay. It smelled similar but stagnant.
Okay, so this water smelled stagnant?
No, the
water that was
water in
there
the
smelled
river.
stagnant.
Like there was that's what like you're thinking about it now, and you're thinking about like all of these questions about could water change,
Mhm.
is kind of like making you think, and you think, I know what that difference is. It's stagnation. There was something old and like grimy about what you smelled.
Yeah, when water sits. Like, have you ever walked past a water trough that nobody had changed for like a long time?
Yeah, and it kind of gets that.
And it gets skunky?
Yeah, musky. Yeah.
The water in the room was skunky and
Like,
stale. Like it hadn't
maybe
been
from-
moved.
Water from a barrel, or maybe the hull of a boat.
No. Like it was this water. If this water had sat for a while.
Like water from 20 years ago.
Yes, maybe. I mean, if water sat for 20 years and didn't, evaporate like water does.
Right. So
But I mean, where?
Someone used stagnant old lake water somehow to drown these poor girls. Is that? How?
I mean,
could
my
it be done?
question is, where would they get it?
That's another one.
Unless
Well, I mean, it would only be a matter of time before water goes stagnant. I mean,
All they would have to do is keep it somewhere where it doesn't evaporate, such as a dark cave or something like that.
within a
Mine?
couple of days to a couple of weeks, depending on circulation, you'll have stagnant
Yeah.
water.
If water sits for long enough without moving,
Right.
This is
Does this lake happen to go to the mine at some point?
well, it's a
No,
lake. Lakes don't
Well-
flow.
no.
But if they dug the mine,
Then the mines would be flooded.
not necessarily. I mean, they could have a drift.
Water sitting on the surface is gonna push
right, but the
water
dam,
into
the
the
dam wouldn't
mines.
be dam wouldn't be water. I'm saying if the water would go through a dam, if the mine would go through a dam, it wouldn't be water.
You know the mine, because you were given directions to it, I believe, by, I think
It's not
Carol
the same place.
told
Yeah,
you.
isn't
It's
it on
also
the
in the
other
opposite
side of
direction.
the?
Yeah.
I thought it was on the
Yeah.
opposite side.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
not the mine.
it's like south. Well, it's like south of the lake, like south. I want to say like southeast, of the lake.
Okay.
What was I thinking? Yeah,
Everything we have just keeps bringing us
and
back.
a bit like it's basically east of the town, southeast of the lake, because the lake is like northeast of the town, kind of northish, northeast.
What if? I mean, what if the sheriff got rid of her here in this lake?
That would explain his hatred of druids. And why he would be suspicious of you once we identified you as such.
Really, if you killed a person, that makes you hate that person? That seems like a wrong.
Well, I
If
mean,
you kill
No, what if it was a family stigma? Because the sheriff was here, right?
Yes.
The sheriff was born here. His family's been here for a while,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Maybe for him it was more personal, like a blood feud type business.
you're taking Dash properties into this again, Dobby.
I feel like that's a stretch.
But what
I-
would
I
make him
mean-
hate
You know-
the
we
druid
know
so
that-
much besides this?
Well,
Damn.
maybe it's not so much that he hates them because of something they did.
Just from the
Maybe
how
he's
they
just afraid of them.
Maybe he's just a jerk.
Maybe they threatened his prosperity.
be. Well, they did.
Doesn't
That's what we-
even it
that's
doesn't
what we
even need
found
to be
out.
that. We know he stops the protest.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They did stop.
Yes.
They would be stopping their prosperity if the
Okay,
dam wasn't built.
exactly.
The town would not be as large as it is.
Wouldn't it be as large as it
He
is
would not
today?
have gotten his
His
promotion.
promotion.
Promotion, yeah.
Pardon me for a moment as I channel my inner Dobsworth. What if he took care of this protest by taking care of the sister?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
In that situation, would you not be fearful of other druids suddenly showing up in your town?
Yes, that makes
Especially
sense.
after your daughter died?
That makes sense.
I mean, he might be afraid of revenge.
Exactly.
What doesn't make sense is why Maria died first instead of Elena, though.
Well,
It's leading up
If-
to the final person that instigated all of this.
All right, that makes okay.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
Okay?
This is
You take out the
It's how you do it like this.
the
It's a
person
mind
who
game.
least harmed you, then the person you feel jilted at, and then the big kahuna.
Yes, exactly.
I follow where you're
it
headed.
still seems
I
to
mean-
possibly lead into something, but
what
we need to figure
if?
out who.
So do we believe she is dead or just
I mean,
I've thought that the sister was dead since we learned about the sister's disappearance.
well she went missing? There was
yes.
never anything found.
Not found for 20 years. Yeah, you're probably dead.
Not,
Oh,
not found, but may I also say there is a big fucking lake.
that's what I'm saying. What if you put her in this lake?
Well, I mean,
What if
Last
she
time
came? What
The
if
lake
dead
wouldn't-
does not always stay in the ground or the lake?
Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. I thought they made the dam in the lake,
They did.
afterwards.
They did, but that
See the
could have been
boat.
used to hide the body.
Starting to
Oh, hold on.
turn and starting to head back towards
Okay,
the dock.
yeah, I don't have time for this. I gotta follow this douche. He starts moving down
Okay.
this hill.
Okay.
Does
So you start moving back down the side of the lake towards the docks again.
Yep.
I vote we all go along with.
I'm stealthing at this point. Can I roll a
Where are
check?
you stealthing?
Oh, it's because it's all open. Fuck.
Yeah, there's a forest 20 feet, and you're in the middle of the day also, by the way. There's a forest about 20 feet that like goes like sort of around or 20 or 30 feet away from the edge of the lake, but it does open up as where the docks are, because that's where you walk sort of into the town.
Okay, but the forest is by where you go into the town, right?
It's it's about the forest kind of ends probably about 60 or 70 feet from like the opening near the docks.
Okay.
And then there's like a clear path from those docks towards the town, and there's not really cover from there because it's like left open, because that's where they stop. Like the forest stops there because that's where the town is starting to be built. So
Got you.
So there's really no way to stealth after this guy.
Yeah, you just have to like kind of tail.
I mean,
him after he
there's
gets off.
a way to like tail
Yeah.
him, and maybe he
There's a way
doesn't
to tail
see
him.
you, or wait,
Yeah. Tail him,
and then
yeah.
like start to go. But in the bright light of the noonday sun, probably not going to be easy to just stealth. Like you could stay in the forest and then watch him like walk away, and,
And
he
then
never
watch him
sees you,
walk-
and then
yeah.
and then stealth behind, and like
That
hopefully
makes
he doesn't
that's
turn and like
probably
look
the
at you
best
because he has no
opportunity. Yeah.
But there's not a way to just be like stealthing in the grass,
In the
waiting
grass.
for him to like walk by you, and then he
You
doesn't
don't
see
see
you.
me.
You know,
I
Get
mean,
down
he's very
really
short, that's
low
how
and
grass
just
is, I
crawl.
guess.
it's not tall in this area.
It's not tall. It's
grass,
not tall
you know,
grass.
It's not tall
But
grass.
yeah, I
it's
do.
not
I do
grassland.
the forest route. I'm just
Okay,
sneaking
so
through
you,
that
so
forest.
you rush. I'll say you have to like rush off to that area, but you get yourself prepared and go in. What are the rest of you doing?
I would vote we just all go meet this guy at the dock.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Okay.
Why you-
I have a different.
So are you
theory.
walking?
Yeah, I'm
what are you
not
guys doing
going
as
my
this
dock.
boat is coming in? What are you guys doing?
Well, because if she is dead and she's at the bottom of this lake, it's been 20 years on near, so it's probably nothing left of her.
And apparently there's enough left that if it is her, then something.
So Quinn, are you walking towards the boat?
I would be trying to get everybody to like walk and talk as we're doing, because I want to.
Yeah, I'm not
I've not
going
had a
to
chance
talk to that
this
kid.
ass.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
not-
they're
she's
not
on
they're
opposite
not
way.
moving
Okay.
with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peregrine, I am also not entirely satisfied with a plan to kidnap a noble's son.
Oh.
Would you join me in going to find Sarah?
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Before we go, though, I'm gonna reach down. I'm gonna take my boots off, and I'm going to just step into the lake and close my eyes and reach into my pocket for a seed, and I'm going to use Druidcraft to make it bloom, and I'm going to place it in the water.
Okay.
And let it go.
You step into the lake. You druidcraft a little. I'll say like a water lily or something.
Yeah.
You place it into the water and you watch it begin to sort of float out a little bit.
Something dark is here. Something wrong is here.
Make perception check.
Okay. Okay.
Can I inspire her?
If you want.
I see that she's doing something.
Actually, no, you can't inspire her for this. This is not.
Okay.
18?
Okay. You kind of close your eyes. You take a deep breath, and as you're kind of thinking, you feel this. And in your hand, you see a spark of blue energy.
Okay.
But that's it.
Did we all see that?
No. She sees it.
Blue energy.
She just
again,
sees
like
it like in her hand as she's looking, and it's very fast. And it's because she was specifically, she felt it and saw it. But other than that,
So if they
So
said they were
did
gonna
that
go,
happen
okay.
like when I cast it or after?
slightly after.
Okay. Okay.
You still felt that sort of like you saw that sort of nature-based green
I saw the green
energy
first and then
to create
the
and then almost like this like wild sort of spark after that had happened, because you'd already placed it sort of in the water, and as you were just sort of breathing and trying to like take in and trying to go over in your mind like what's going on, you feel this, and that was it.
Did she visibly react to that?
Yep. Perry just kind of closes her hand. Oh, that was odd. And I'm gonna step out and just like lace my boots back up. I believe maybe let's go talk to Sarah again.
Okay.
So yeah, you hear her say that was odd, but that's all.
Yeah, I'm not making a big deal of it right now.
Okay. You guys begin walking down the way. Dobby, go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
So are we following Devin or?
They said they're going to see Sarah.
Yeah, when they said that, I was gonna follow.
All right, you got a
Wait.
9. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That tracks.
Okay.
Oh shit.
You guys continue down. About the time you get like down towards the dock, the boat has kind of come in, and you can see just on board a young blonde man tying off the boat. You continue past as you go towards the town. He doesn't pay you any mind. So you guys begin heading your way back towards Damien's to go entreat with Sarah, who you know probably won't be there until the evening.
I just want to go get cleaned up and such.
So
And
you
have
guys
time to
make
think.
your way there. Dobby, you wait and watch Devin get his boat back in order, get everything tied away, anchored, and you see him come off the boat and down onto the dock, and you see him beginning to walk towards the town.
Got you. And that's away from me currently, right? Yeah.
Yes, you're like kind of off to the side, and he's like passing sort of perpendicular to you, and you kind of like watch him as he walks by. Currently, you're in the forest. He doesn't notice you.
Are we all going to go talk to Sarah? I thought Quinn was.
No, I thought the party split.
No, that
Wait.
it's Peregrine, and you guys. I asked you all what you were doing. I don't know
thought
what.
Peregrine and Ori were going to talk to Sarah.
No,
Yeah,
all of you were
going to talk to
together. You were
Sarah.
all standing there at the lake,
Right, but
and
I
I
thought
asked
Quinn
if you
said
were
he wanted
going.
to go to
He didn't. He shrugged and said, "I said, are you going with the?" He said, "I'm trying to herd everyone." And then when they said, "No, we're not doing that," he kind of shrugged and said, "Okay, fine, whatever."
Okay.
Cool.
So,
Then everybody except Dobby's heading to Sarah.
yeah.
Solo dolo. That's how we
Unless
do
you're
it.
telling me, Quinn, that you like break off from the group and go to stand at the dock.
If that's where he's going, I would want to go with him.
But
I'm-
you watch Perry and Ori are just beelining it back to the town. So they're not stopping. They're not going with you. They've said no. They don't think it's a lucrative plan. But it's up to you.
I was. If no one was going to come with me, then I was going to keep on going. And the shrug was just like, oh, well, screw them. And then.
Oh,
just,
okay. So yeah, you were
move on.
waiting. Okay, so I'll say you left them a while ago because you were. So you guys watched Quinn walk
Then, yeah,
off.
I would try to catch
Okay,
up
so
with them.
Baltaim goes with you. Sinric, are you
Okay,
going with? Who are you
gotcha.
going with?
I'm probably gonna go with Dobby at this point because I mean I'm smart enough to realize Sarah doesn't get in this early.
Okay, so you're. You don't. Actually, make a perception check.
The counterpoint. Booze.
That is true.
I got some on me still,
That's also.
Okay, yeah,
true.
make your perception.
so that would have been
Oh.
it.
Yeah, you see Dobby hiding in the forest, and you head your way over to him and like hunker down with him, and go ahead and make a stealth check.
So that's a
Alright.
12.
All right. So he comes over, finds you, and hunkers down next to you. You guys watch Quinn and Baltaim stand at the dock as the boat's coming in. He still hasn't gotten off yet, and Perry and Oriana are as he's coming in, just continuing down to the town. You watch
I want
him.
to take a moment to appreciate that Sinric, the big tall guy,
Has better
is
stealth,
stealthier
yeah.
than Dobby.
Yeah. Pretty
So
great.
He stands still and he's a tree.
So you wait, and as Devin is getting everything ready and getting the boat in, he looks and sees you standing there, and he recognizes you, Baltaim, because you had come to see him.
Fuck!
And he goes, "You back again?
There's another death again.
Okay."
Pardon me, we've not met. My name is Quinn, and
Okay, Quinn, I'm Devin.
yeah, I have heard of you. And I actually was just wanting to check because you may have been the last one to see the young lady alive.
Okay, I took her home,
Right,
and
did you
her
see
father
anything-
saw her before after I left, so I wasn't with her when she was killed.
No one's
Right.
accusing you, Mr. Asepher.
Okay.
No, not at all. My question is,
But I wasn't the last one to see her alive. Her father saw her alive.
well, last one to see her out and about and alive then,
Okay.
possibly. I'm trying to see if maybe you saw anything on the way home or if anything happened that day that could have maybe shed some light on how this went on.
Nope. We hung out on my boat for a good few hours, came back before dark started to set in. I walked her back to her place, left her there. She went in. I heard her say hi to her father as I was walking away, and I went on my own way.
Oh, fuck.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does
Yeah, I
story
would like
sound
to also. That's
congruent? Does he sound like he's earnest?
let's see.
So
Ah, it's a
18.
13.
Baltaim seems pretty honest.
Okay. Can with that
He's still got that like annoyed, arrogant
right?
attitude, but he doesn't
And-
seem to be lying. Like that's what he did.
With that, I don't know if you want me to roll again, but does he seem like bothered by any of this at all? Either.
Yeah, is there? That's another thing I was gonna. Is there any kind of like emotional affect to him? Like,
Yeah, he
his
seems
girlfriend
like
literally
he's-
just died.
He seems like he seems nervous, but not in the sense of like you
Like
can
he
tell
did
like
it?
even with that air of like arrogance, he seems like nervous about the situation. Like I mean, it's really hard to tell on him because he's just got this haughty air of like
Yeah.
indifference, and he obviously gets it from his father a little bit. But he seems like he doesn't like what's going on, and I wouldn't say he's like overly upset about who died. You actually noticed that he was more upset about Maria than Elaine.
Yeah.
But he seems like pensive about what is going on and constantly being asked all these questions, and then like people dying. He seems actually more like just upset about people dying because he's like, he just doesn't seem to be happy about that. And you know, like, given who you've talked to, you know that he generally doesn't really come out to the boat this early and doesn't come in this early.
Right.
So
it's catching
something's
on
off.
somewhat.
Like
Yeah.
he's affected somewhat, but outwardly he's not really showing it.
He's like pinned on a shelf.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I wouldn't say he's like you don't get like the sociopathic vibe of like I
Yeah.
could care less about anything and like nothing
Yeah.
affects me and like go ahead and try to like it's more just I'm putting on my airs and like
Yeah.
but you got the sense of his story was
Was truthful.
was
Okay.
honest.
How much of any of that did I get? Because
You got the sense of you didn't get the nervousness, but you did get the sense that like he's kind of hard to read and he's kind of arrogant, but it's hard to tell if he was being dishonest.
Okay.
You didn't get the sense of like he's totally shitting us completely right now.
Okay. That's right.
You got more of the sense of, like, yeah, he's being straightforward. He doesn't really feel like he has anything to hide.
Okay. Mr. Asepher, I would recommend that for the time being, perhaps you should consider sleeping with a guard.
I don't
Children
swing that
found-
way, dude.
I don't mean literally, like having relations with a guard. I mean sleeping while under guard.
We have tons of guards, but I'm not gonna have some weird dude in my bedroom.
Right, so you're okay with the fact that 2 of the children of the founding families of the town have just been found dead, drowned in their bed alone?
Elaine was not a child of a founding family.
Close to it. Founding of the law.
No,
The
her
sheriff.
father was appointed as sheriff. You guys really don't get your fucking facts straight, do you? Are you at all investigators? Do you really know what the fuck you're doing, or did you just come in here and because the mayor put up some cash, you were like, oh yeah, we got this? Oh, it's the second one. Just from your face, I can tell. Yeah, you're gonna find this murderer. Good luck to all of us. Jeez, we're all fucking dead.
Mr. Asepher, I know
And
you're scared.
this is why I didn't want to go.
But please,
didn't have
if you
to.
could-
You didn't have to go.
please, if you
We
could
didn't.
help us in any way, if you know
You
anything,
didn't have to go.
I don't
you know anything about
anything.
anything.
I don't know any fucking thing. I have no idea who's doing this. I don't know who's drowning people in beds. I don't know who's killed Elaine or Maria. I have no fucking clue other than somehow you guys keep coming back to me, and for some reason it's like, I don't know what, maybe my hands are fucking cursed and like any girl I touch is gonna die. I don't know. That's really weird and really fucked up, and it's really messing with my head right now. But I have not I didn't do anything to them that they didn't consent to, okay? And I didn't kill them.
We believe you.
So if you've got nothing else, I'm gonna go back to my house. And I don't know what the fuck, drink until I can't fucking see anymore.
Do be careful, Mr. Asepher.
Yeah, okay.
I hate to see a third body.
I would hate to be dead. But, you know, given who's looking over this town, sheriff's basically out of commission because his daughter's dead, and you guys is like the useless troop of fucking idiots. We're all... Forget it. I'm going home.
Have a nice day.
He just walks by.
After he's out of earshot, I'll say to Baltimore, you know, if he ends up being the next one to die, I don't think I'd mind.
That's terrible to say, but I told you he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, but you know, you don't really believe it until you see it for
Yeah.
yourself in some
Yep.
cases. It's like you tell someone a mountain is huge, you know.
Right, and then you get up to the mountain, you're like, oh, that's what you meant
You're
by
like,
that.
well, fuck, it really is big, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know? It's one of those you had to see to believe, and yeah, he is a right awful prick.
I think he's scared, though.
Well, I mean, you'd have
Two people close to
I would
him
hope.
that died.
And Dobby and Sinric at this point, you watch Quinn and Baltimore still off to the side having their conversation in front of the dock, and you watch Devin continue past.
Because we're still in the trees, right?
Yeah, you're still in the trees.
Okay, cool.
So he continues, and in a few, like after a few seconds, he's going to be out of eye shot from you.
Okay, cool. We know the direction he's going into is back into town,
You know
right?
he's going into town, yeah.
Okay, once he gets over the crest, and it takes some time, I'm gonna start walking over to Ball and Q, and I'm like,
Okay.
yo, what the fuck is he going?
Home.
I think he's gonna go home.
Apparently.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right home.
Okay, that just makes it easier for me. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he knows nothing. He doesn't.
Well, yeah, I know
care
he
to-
doesn't know anything, but he's still a target.
Right, and he doesn't care to do anything to protect himself, such as try to, sleep under guard.
Oh yeah, no.
So
But if he does get attacked, and if
we're there to save them, we can bump up the price.
You
That's
can try to
not-
convince him, but he seems to think that we're just a bunch of fucking useless idiots, and I don't think...
Because you out here fucking
I
not
mean,
following them.
So far, we haven't been quite useful. to be honest.
We already got the information we wanted from him. Why did you come out and talk to him again? Like, nah, man. I was gonna follow the kid back home and watch over him and see if anyone's gonna attack him over at night. That was my plan. Cool. So if he's gonna head over back home, I'm gonna go back into town, and I'm gonna wait till nightfall. I'm gonna sit outside his window. Cool. Okay, nice chat. Team break over. And I start going into the town.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll head back towards town anyway.
Okay, you guys
have a war with that
are
jackass.
continuing to walk towards town. Oriana and Perry, you get to Damien's first.
Yep.
What would
Actually,
you like-
on our way there,
Okay.
on our way there, I am as subtly as I can because I'm not sure if the town is just against magic or not. I'm going to cast message to
Okay.
Sarah every minute or so of walking,
Okay, where
Just
are you
in
where
a
are you
direction.
casting it?
just pointing in random directions,
Okay.
hoping I hit her. I have
Well,
no idea if it'll work.
Okay. So you do that.
Just we need to talk.
Okay.
We need to talk.
You do get a few strange looks as people see you speaking into your little wire, and pointing. A couple of guards kind of give you a look and are like, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just thinking out loud.
Oh my god.
Why would you lie? Why didn't you just say you're trying to reach a friend?
I'm not with this.
Okay,
I'm not with-
make a
no.
deception.
None of us are with him.
I mean, why would I make a deception check? Because
Because you
13?
You're
Not thinking
lying.
out loud. You
Just
lied.
deceive.
Just lied.
He goes.
lied, man.
He goes.
I've got plus.
I rolled a natural 13, so he goes, yeah, that's not thinking out loud. But
I'll put the pin back in my hair. I'm sorry. I'm just.
it's fine. It's just weird to be pointing and casting whatever thing you were casting all over the town. I just
I'm.
be
yes,
a little more subtle, given what's been going on here. I know you guys are helping investigate, but that's a bit strange behavior.
I'm trying to
Walking
find
through
someone,
this.
and yes, I apologize. I'm trying to use it to help me find someone, but
Okay,
I should have
who
been
are
more
you trying to
straightforward.
find?
I'm trying to find Sarah. Actually,
Sarah.
we know she works at Damien's, but she
Oh,
doesn't work until much
Sarah.
later.
Yeah, she lives on the other side of town. She works at
thank you.
Damien's, but this is not her area of where she lives.
Thank you.
She lives
I'll-
closer. She lives closer to the river on the other side of town.
That tracks.
He just goes, "Oh, okay," but just be careful with all that. It's just a bit weird.
Apologies.
And he walks off to continue his patrol. As you guys continue going where?
To Sarah's, I guess.
Well, he didn't tell you where she lived. He told you she lived on the other side of town.
Oh.
It's a fairly big city or town. I mean, you're welcome to go knocking door to door, but
No.
Yeah, our best bet to find her.
No, I
is
think
go away
I
at
think
night.
I think the
Please let us
Toby
get kicked out of
Maguire.
this town, please.
I think the Spider-Man 3 Toby Maguire thing. Yeah. No.
okay.
Anyway,
Why
we'll go
don't we
to
just
we'll go to
go
the
back-
tavern. We'll
Go
go
back
to
to the tavern and wait.
Okay.
I mean, I could use some food.
Yeah, it's
Starving.
getting late. It's getting later in the afternoon. You guys haven't eaten, and you didn't eat breakfast because you left
no.
pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm kind of starving, Oriana.
God.
all right. Let us go to the tavern.
Okay, so you guys head towards Damien's. You get there and you sit down and order a meal.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll say for the two of you, it's probably I'll say like a silver each
Okay,
for a
I'll
meal
pass it over.
and drink.
Yeah, I'll pass it over.
Okay, so 2 silver total, and then maybe. Are the rest of you going to Damien's as well?
No, I'm not.
Okay, where are you going?
I going to the Asper Manor, but I'm trying to get into a high enough perch where I can stake out the manor house.
Okay, so the manor is has a large wall, stone wall all around it.
Okay.
And the wall is about like it's large grounds, so the wall is about probably 50 feet from the house on all sides. You might be able to climb onto the top of another house on either side.
Yeah.
But you would still be pretty far from the manor. You also don't know which. It's a huge house. It's about I think I said 2 stories.
I'm staying right here for now, and then my plan is to, under the cover of darkness, sneak into the
Okay,
ground.
so you're just hanging around like
Yeah,
off
I'm
to
just
the
chilling,
side,
like on this roof, just chilling. You know,
You're
like
hanging
on
out
my belly.
on a roof in the middle of the day. Is that what you're gonna do?
Okay. I thought it was close to going to.
No,
noon
you're like
dark.
2 o'clock
Okay,
in the
still middle
afternoon.
of the day. Yeah, no. Is there any like markets or like somebody I could talk to, like, you know, just small chit chatter or some shit? Perception.
Yeah, you can make a perception check. What are the rest of you doing? Sinric, are you going with Dobby?
I mean, yeah, that was kind of my plan.
I'm rolling terrible today.
Okay. Yeah, you see a few people like walking around. There's not too many walking up the side streets by the manor, as that goes into more residential. But you do see people walking the street in front of the manor. That's pretty much it. You do see like there are a couple of alleyways like off to the sides that you could potentially head down.
Chill. Yeah. Okay, cool. Fuck it, I was chilling one of those alleyways.
Okay, so you head down one. And Quinn and Cindric, what are you guys doing?
I would head back to the inn because that's
Okay.
the only other place that I think to
Okay,
go.
so you're heading back to the inn.
I thought I was gonna follow Dobby, or was that Ball?
No, no, you're because it was you, Quinn. Oh yeah, sorry.
Because I was
Baltaim.
with Dobby in the woods.
Yeah, what are you? What are you doing? Are you going with Dobby or are you going with Quinn?
I was with Quinn last,
Cause,
right?
yeah, Quinn's
No, you
going
were all
to-
together. Remember, they
Oh,
came
yeah,
up
we
to you,
all-
Yeah.
they
and
came
you
up.
all began walking
Yeah.
into the town
So, yeah, I'm
together.
going-
You watched
I'm
Dobby
going-
kind of break off from you.
I'm going with
Cindric
Quinn.
goes with Dobby. Where are you
Okay,
going?
cool.
I'm gonna go with Quinn. 'Cause
Okay,
Alright,
so
cool.
you and Quinn are going back. So Cindric comes down the alley with you. You.
Dobby. Okay.
Yeah, you guys are just hanging out there, and you're just gonna wait until nighttime?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him my plan, you know, just so that he's informed, because Simmer's literally the only one I trust in this fucking group.
Okay.
So yeah, he's like, yeah, you already know the plan. You know, I'm just gonna sneak in, use some of my shadow watts, and I'm gonna chill inside the castle grounds, see if anything happens. You know, you could be my backup if you want to, but I mean, you're pretty big.
Kind of ill-advised to do something like that on your own. I mean,
if you want to follow me, I can do the shadow watt also applies to you. You will also be sneaking with me if you want to. That's your choice, big man. I'm not forcing you, even though you're my employee. Like I employ you.
really?
Yeah.
I can throw you over this wall, you know.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't get paid.
I mean, it would help you get over there quickly.
Yeah, true.
It would also make me kind of happy.
Well, wait until nightfall, okay? Then you can throw me if you want to.
I say we do it.
Okay, cool. We'll wait until nightfall. Yeah, fuck with that.
Although if, this guy is the target, I wouldn't be opposed to letting him, suffer for a bit.
True. But my thing is, let him learn his fucking lesson. I'll fucking get. But he's a fucking sociopath. I don't fucking trust him, okay? But if we save his life, we can milk his father, and we can get more motherfucking coin. So about that money.
Well, that's all on you. I mean,
But we would also save his life, you know.
No kid should
Die
need to
for the
die
sins of their father. Yeah, no.
for stupidity.
Yeah. No. Bullshit.
Okay, so you guys are just waiting in this alley until nightfall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say, use up a ration because you guys haven't eaten, and
Yeah, cool.
you'd have to eat something.
Eating some jerky.
Quinn and Baltaim, maybe 20 minutes after Perry and Ori get into the tavern, you guys show up and you see them at a table eating their food. It's about
Cool.
2:30 or so in the afternoon at this point.
Okay.
Where's
yeah,
the short one?
I think he's
decided-
tailing Mr. Asepher.
Yeah, he decided to follow that prick
Or he
back
literally
home.
just face palms.
Well, that's what he said he was going to do.
Yes, but
He is either going to get all of us arrested or at very least himself arrested at this point.
I'm gonna start pretending I don't know him.
Well,
I already have.
At this point, I just feel like we should be more careful.
We are dangerously close to making bad names for ourselves.
or good ones. We can figure this out.
He has now accosted a man whose father is arguably the most, if not one of the most powerful men in this town.
Well, he hasn't accosted him yet. I don't know what he intends to
But
do.
he plans on it. Why else would he be following him?
I think he just wants to see if something happens to him.
I mean,
He is the link with each girl. It's possible that he could be next. Not quite sure on it anymore. But
I mean,
I don't
that's
disagree with that,
true.
but at this point we have.
I mean, did y'all get anything out of him, or was that all a complete waste of time?
he seems like he's quite scared, and kids will be kids.
So you talked to him then?
Yes, we did, and he's a right awful bastard.
Did you offer your services to help him, or offer something to help him, some
Why?
advice or something?
I did advise him to try to sleep under guard, and he thought that was a complete waste of his fucking time. He also thinks we're a bunch of idiots.
Then we've done our due diligence as citizens. Why is he still following this poor boy? Well,
I have no
quite
idea.
filthy rich boy, but potatoes, potatoes.
I don't know. We do not know who will be taken down next.
All I'm saying is, given what you had told us earlier, I didn't think we were going to get anything else out of him. He seems to not really care, besides saving his own skin. And whether he pees his britches or not out of fear is not the point.
Well, I was hoping there'd be a chance he saw something at least the day before that would have made any of this make sense, or maybe when he walked the girl back home. But no, not a bloody thing.
We have to consider that there may be supernatural elements to this. Something beyond normal understanding.
I think we all
And at this point, I think aside from being in the room when it happens, I don't see how we stop something like this.
That's why I want to talk to Sarah. I don't know how strong she is. I don't know how strong her sister was.
At the very least, she may know more about the lake and the region, and we can at least see if there's something there.
Didn't
but-
she say she's not quite that strong?
No, but we don't need her for her strength necessarily.
No, I was referring to a question, Perry's question before. She just said.
Well, what I mean is, she, just because she says she is not very powerful does not mean that she isn't. And also, we have no idea how strong. She never implied that she wasn't strong or that her sister wasn't strong. And anger and rage can make you exceptionally strong. It can fuel a lot of power. It would take a lot of rage to drown an innocent child in her bed.
Twice.
Well, not innocent in their eyes, apparently.
Well, that's the thing, though. It would take a lot of anger and rage and hate to direct that kind of fury at a child who was not responsible for what happened.
Right.
That's what I mean. I don't mean that they saw them as innocent. But they are clearly not responsible. They were not even born when when all of this happened. So.
And you believe, which one do you believe was the one?
I don't know that I believe either one of them is responsible. However, I'm not exactly the strongest of my tribe.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know everything. Maybe she knows something about water spirits or something that can bring old water up.
Someone that would
I've
have.
been thinking a lot about the act of drowning and the water going stagnant in someone's lungs.
She did say they were water dancers. That would be a coincidence with all this.
So, I mean, I have no intention of accusing her. And I will not ask her if she is responsible for it, because that will abruptly end the conversation.
Well, I think we already did that.
No, we never asked, are you responsible for what happened?
I did that.
Not to Sarah, but
You asked Lord Asepher during our meeting if he was responsible for anything.
Yeah, I asked him, but I'm pretty sure I asked her if she knew anything about these deaths, which I guess I'm not quite sure how these conversations work around here, but I feel like that's the same thing I asked before to ask for as well, but maybe not.
The point is, we have a new approach to this. We're not just looking for leads anymore when we're talking to her. We're not trying to figure out things about the town. I mean, we discovered that she had a sister that went missing in that conversation, and we didn't exactly spend a lot of time discussing what that means. We just saw it as a lead.
We also now know that the sheriff, who was constable at the time, was responsible for stopping the protest.
Yes, that is new that she didn't bring up, or maybe she didn't know of his
Well, we can certainly ask her.
Forceful dealings or his involvement fully.
She just explained to us, if I remember correctly, that after her sister disappeared, the protest just lost movement.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't say that the sheriff had anything to do with that. If Lord Asepher confirmed that the sheriff is the reason that the protest stopped, hence why he was promoted,
Right.
then that's worth bringing up to her.
That's what I'm saying. That is new, and that's something she did not
Yes.
bring up to us previously. Yeah.
I'm
Well-
pretty sure she did. She told you that he was a constable, and that after after everything, he became sheriff. She didn't know how he got it, but she did say.
Asper told us that.
Okay.
She originally said he was constable back then. He wasn't sheriff, and then he got sheriff. She did say that. She didn't say how. You're welcome to ask her if she knows that.
But yeah, she said he wasn't sheriff, but when the town grew, he became sheriff.
He became sheriff. Yeah. When the dam was constructed.
Asper implied that it was a direct promotion because of his dealing.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that she did tell you he was constable,
Right,
and then
right.
she did tell you he got sheriff after the dam went through.
Right.
You can ask her about that, but I will say that she didn't hold back that she gave you that information.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
we just
the
meant
other
that.
thing
Yeah.
is, Asepher implied that it was a small protest and it just went away, as though just a few people weren't interested in the dam. That's not what Sarah said. Sarah said they were gaining momentum. Sarah said they were winning. And then Sienna disappeared.
It's interesting to think from the disappearance of only one person to have that big an impact on an entire movement. But it's possible.
Well, if
They
the
could have
sisters
made
were
her
the
go away.
driving proponent, if one of them is gone, you lost your sister. It's kind of a
Yeah.
heavy blow. Kind of lose
Yeah.
steam to want to keep up the fight.
That's very true.
Queen gets really quiet after that.
So you guys just hanging around until Sarah starts her shift, basically?
Yeah, we're just brainstorming ideas, I think.
Okay, so you guys are kind of going back and forth, having a chat. Dobby, you and Sinric are waiting in that alley, and the time begins to move, and you start to see the sun begins to go down. And as the evening shift takes hold, you watch as Sarah walks into the bar to begin her shift, and that's where we'll take a break for this evening.
Cool.
Thank you guys for sticking with us and watching. We shall be back in just a little bit. Just going to have a restroom break, top up our drinks, and we will see you very, very shortly. So please don't go away. Stick with us, and we'll see if these guys can figure out the mystery tonight, or if it's going to take another session. We'll see.
Odds aren't good.
Wish us luck.
All right, everyone, we are back and ready to get back into things. So we are going to jump right in as Sarah walks into the bar, and you see her start to get ready for her shift. You've all finished your meals at this point. You've just been sipping your drinks, and preparing for what you might ask her. She steps behind the bar, puts her things away, gets her sort of bar apron on, and ready to start serving people. You see her switch out with Damien as he goes into the back, and she begins taking over orders.
Alright. I'll walk over to the bar to talk to her.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
go with.
Yeah.
So you guys head over, and she looks up and she says, "Oh, you're all back again. It's too bad
Yep.
about Elaine. I heard
Yes,
that she was found as well. Unfortunately, you weren't able to use the information that I was able to give to you. I suppose maybe wasn't helpful."
No, it was quite helpful. We just, we didn't realize how many could be a next target if there was another target.
Elaine is kind of strange to me, really.
Well, that's actually what we want to talk
I
to
mean,
you
unless obviously this is just the random young girls, I suppose.
about. Well, we don't think it's random.
Okay.
You told us the other night that the sheriff was promoted shortly after the building of the dam. We talked to Lord Asepher this morning, and he
Fucking dick.
yes,
I got that impression too.
He.
Mm.
What I'd
No.
give to go into his mind.
I feel like it would be a very dark place.
Can I insight check that?
Go ahead.
Just seemed kind of weird the way she worded it. Maybe I'm getting too crazy. 18.
She has been trying to find ways to figure out what he fucking did. She honestly believes that he had everything to do with her sister's disappearance, and
Okay.
she believes that she told you he likely has slaves there.
Yeah.
I'd ruin that bastard.
We talked to him, and I can agree that he is quite a disagreeable person. But we did have some interesting information come up during the meeting.
Did you figure out some information about my sister?
Perhaps
Okay.
he implied that the sheriff was promoted after peacefully negotiating with the protesters.
Well,
But
I suppose, yeah, he was. But my sister went missing. We were the heads of the protests because it was our home, and once she went missing, my time went into finding out where the fuck she went. So I wasn't exactly paying attention to protesting a dam being built because I wanted to know where the fuck my sister went.
so to clarify something, the sheriff never spoke to you about stopping the protests.
I dealt with this constable at the time I dealt with Calder when we were protesting the building of the dam. He was one of the city guard, so he had to do his job and make sure that everything stayed civil, which it did. It stayed civil, but yes, he was one of the guards who made sure that our protests were lawful, and if we got out of line, we'd be taken in. But we were never unlawful, and we never did anything violent. So, yeah, we were. Those were the interactions I had with him when he, made us step back or do certain things to make sure that we didn't encroach upon territory that wasn't ours to walk upon. But other than that, no, I never really interacted with him all that much. Like I said, we protested against the lords, against their plan. We started to get more. More following, agreeing with us, and people were there, and we started to get more and more of a crowd, which meant more of the guard had to come out to hold us back from our protest. But once my sister was taken, I couldn't lead things anymore with her, and I spent my time trying to figure out where she went. And with no one to really head the protests and the people following me and Sienna, things, I assume, without me being there, got broken up.
When we were at the sheriff's house, I revealed the fact that I am a druid, and his reaction was negative, to say the least.
Well, he didn't like us. I mean, we didn't come to blows, but he was for the dam.
I mean,
and he was on the side of the city, so he may not like you, but he also, I don't know, I don't really know. I know he was promoted.
I mean, he said, we've had enough trouble with you, with folks like you.
Well, yeah, we tried to stop them building the lake and the dam. So he didn't like me and my sister, especially since we were gaining a following. When she disappeared and I got busy, it probably took a load off his shoulders. But did you learn something? You said he was given?
Lord Asepher told us that he was given the promotion specifically for handling the protests that were getting in the way of the dam.
Well, maybe he's working with them then? I don't know. Maybe he is part of their whole plan for this town. And maybe the whole time it was I don't know if he was actually for it or if it was just doing it for the promotion.
Not insight checker?
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason that we think that these are not random targets is because both daughters...
She's being completely straightforward with you. You actually are getting the fact that, like, she literally wants to know what the fuck is going on, and she wants you... She thinks...
To give us her answer.
She wants to give you answers, and she honestly thinks that somehow this has to do with them.
When we were in Maria's room, I turned into a mastiff.
Okay.
And I smelled the water. It smelled like the lake. If the lake had been sitting stagnant for a while.
I don't really know much about that.
Do you know anything about... I know that you and your sister were water dancers. Do you know anything about some sort of
stagnant
power
water?
Or
stagnant water wouldn't be our thing. When we were practicing,
right.
We'd use our abilities to create water, but
right.
It was never stagnant water.
Is there any place on or near the lake where the water might become stagnated?
A cave, maybe?
Are you aware of any caves?
The only one that was originally a cave turned mine is the mines. But that's not super close to the... It's not super close to the lake. So... I don't know, unless water was brought there? Or maybe runoff from rain, or
Or it could be groundwater.
Groundwater. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
water.
mean,
It's possible.
I
But that's the only kind of stagnant water I would think of. If it smelled like the lake, though,
yeah, it smelled. It
but
smelled
stagnant
like the
lake
lake.
water.
Yeah, it smelled like the lake if the lake had gone stagnant.
I really
This
don't
is gonna
know.
sound
I
like a really
really don't know.
odd question.
Go ahead. If I can answer you, I will. But
I don't know a lot about working with water, and I don't know a lot about drowning, and I don't know that you know anything. But what if water sat in something's lungs? Could you control the water that was in someone's lungs?
it's not quite that way. Controlling water is generally water that is free flowing,
Right.
or creating it out of the air or the particles in the air and nature.
Right.
If a druid with water control could control water, we could tear apart a humanoid body just because
Right.
of how much water is naturally in your body. But no, not generally. Although if someone drowned and died, maybe. I don't know all that well. I haven't exactly worked with dead bodies all that much. There's a possibility.
Right.
So I'll say that, but I couldn't 100% tell you.
Sarah, how, you mentioned his mines beforehand as well.
Well, I think
really
he
believe-
had slaves in him.
You really believe that?
I really believe it. Whether he still
Do you
does or not, I don't know.
How badly do you want to get into those mines?
I want to, but I also know that who I was 20 years ago and who I am today are not the same person. I don't know how good I'd be if I get caught by Lord Asepher today.
Could you show us how to get to the mines?
You
I
know
can-
their protections.
I can point you in the right direction, sure. But I do not want to go there myself, especially not with all this going on.
That's quite a
I
No,
will
I wouldn't-
100%
I would
get
never
blamed
ask
for
you
this. But I can give you the general directions out there. It's just east of the town. If you go past if you go, 'cause Ison was on the west side, Keen was on the north side. If you go east of the Asepher mansion, out from the town, there is an exit sort of east in the town that leads to the mines. They're gated off, but if you can get inside, it's a pretty straight shot.
He has no guards besides just a gate.
As far as I know, no guards right now. I think, from what I've heard, a lot of the mining is dried up.
He did sort of imply that the mines
in-
were not
Other business now.
producing, and he was in other businesses and things.
He mentions that's why he wanted to be a part of the dam, so to provide other business ventures.
So, yeah, I don't know if you'd catch slaves in there now, but you may catch something.
We
How does-
found watery footprints, but no way in or out.
I don't know what could do that. Of my knowledge, I don't know a creature that would produce footprints but not be seen. other than a very strong person of arcane nature that could potentially transport themselves. But then I don't know how they would use stagnant water to drown someone. So that doesn't quite add up, but there's potential. Again, the level of magics, druidic magics that my sister and I practiced weren't of that kind of nature. It's not really my area of expertise.
Right.
I wish I could, like I said, be of more help. I only have the knowledge that I have.
You've been a tremendous help,
Sister
Sarah.
could help you probably a lot more, but I haven't seen her
You've
for
been quite
20 years.
helpful.
Was she stronger than you?
Maybe a little. She was always more devout in her practice than me. She probably, to this day, would still be fighting.
One could only hope that.
So I mean, I guess I failed her in that way, but there was
You have
nothing
not.
more I could really do. I was blocked in all directions and I had no more leads and no
You've
way
done-
of making a move. No villagers, no townspeople would back me once the protest stopped and the dam began to be built. And when the town started to prosper, I lost my sort of leg to stand on, really.
You know if Sienna had any dealings or encounters with the sheriff? Or, well, the constable at the time.
She did, like me. We
Like-
both had conversations with him. We were both the heads of the protests. We were the loudest voices.
Right.
But
Was it-
nothing that ended up in a scuffle or
Mm.
violence or either
Right.
of us being arrested or anything like that.
Okay.
I think that's what was so grating to the lords and maybe to the constable was that we didn't need to. We were getting enough people to back us while we were being peaceful about it and going on about how this would change our valley and our home and that there were other ways to prosper.
Right.
But that all ended.
I don't think you have failed your sister.
I don't either.
I think she would be
appreciate
proud
that.
of you.
You have survived in a hostile environment by yourself. I think she'd be
Well,
quite
it's
proud.
not so hostile anymore. Damien's good to me. Most of the townspeople are pretty good to me. The lords I don't deal with. The mayor has never been unkind to me, and neither was Maria. So, I can't say it's a completely hostile environment. It's just a few bad apples in the bunch.
But you've maintained your sister's methods, peace.
Yes, but not my practices as a druid or a water dancer or living out of the town. I come here every night and serve these arses as they drink.
You've adapted to the times.
I suppose.
You've done what you had to.
Or maybe I became complacent. I don't know.
I can't help but think that maybe, just maybe, it might help you to get back out by the lake. Practice again. Sometimes
That lake is everything that went wrong in my life. It's hard to go back to a place where everything was taken from you. My home, my sister, my happiness.
I understand.
At this point, Quinn just kind of very slowly just starts to just back away and just step off for a minute.
Okay.
My suggestion is only that perhaps you find a place where you can practice. Sometimes reconnecting with it helps.
Maybe.
Or at least that's how they used to teach us in my village.
Perhaps you're right. Perhaps I should see if maybe she's found her way back to nature.
It's possible.
It is. But I don't know. I have the feeling that the way she disappeared and the way she was taken, she didn't go quietly. And if she's not alive, I don't think she's found her way back.
Then perhaps continuing your practices may help us out.
Maybe. I'll think about it. If you need anything else, please let me know.
Of course. And I'm going to, just put a hand on her shoulder and kind of, reassure her a little.
And she pats you gently and she says, I'm gonna go finish my, making sure my customers get what they need. She walks off.
It is. You have a good night.
You too.
Slink over to Quinn.
And Quinn, where did you go? You backed off.
Yeah, I would have just backed off and just. I would have left the building, but just stepped off somewhere, tried to find a non-populated corner.
Oh yeah, you find a quiet table. You find a quiet table off in the corner. Kind of sit down. And Baltaim, you head over to him.
Are you praying or doing something?
I wouldn't have sat down. I would just be sort of pacing.
Okay.
And just trying not to breathe very heavily. Just sort of the thing where you're trying to not hyperventilate.
Okay.
Right, but you are. I'll kind of go pat him on the shoulder. Boy, you alright?
Yeah, no, yeah, fine. So, going to the
You're a terrible liar.
thing. No.
God awful.
Yeah, that's true. And some things she was saying just hit a bit close to home, so
I understand.
not really time for that right now, though. So,
Right, we can talk about this later if you'd like. Go hit up on mine.
Possible. So yeah. Well, I think first thing we need to do is find the two idiots that are just, I suppose, hanging around the rich man's manor.
I think it's time that we head to the only place in town we have not been able to check. And if we can pick up the short and tall one, then we should.
Right.
I have a method of contacting people at a distance, but it only works within a certain range. You said that they went to...
home.
Then I believe that is on the way, so we will see what we can do.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to leave them out so they can cause whatever control they are. If we are about to try to go in mines owned by the same person, then it's going to feel like we're trying to stage some sort of multi-tiered robbery.
Right.
So you guys...
A single-tiered robbery is all right.
We're headed towards the Asepher mansion.
Okay, so you guys begin your walk. Meanwhile, while all of this is happening, Davi, it begins getting dark. As you guys are standing in the alley, you feel like it has been hours, but you're getting kind of impatient. But finally, you see the sun begin to crest, and the darkness begin to encroach, and the street lamps beginning to get lit.
Seems like some of the good business done. You filming?
Well, might we want to wait till actual darkness sets?
I mean, yeah, we got a couple more hours, but yeah, I'm just saying, be ready to get shit done,
It is dark. It's dark at this point.
You just said the streetlights were just coming on?
Yeah, but it's it's probably another 10-15 minutes before the sun fully goes down below the horizon. It's not going to take hours.
Cool.
Sunsets pretty quickly. Like I've watched a sunset. It goes down pretty fast.
Cool. So yeah. Then I'm just.
So yeah, about like 15 minutes later. At this point, it's dark. It's not like pitch black at night, but it's dark.
Okay, but it's dark.
Yeah.
Okay. How far? Okay, so
it's probably
these,
about like seven or 8 o'clock.
walls are 20 feet high, right, or 30 feet high?
Oh no, they're not 30 feet high. Probably about 12.
Oh, okay. Cool. I was thinking these are like high walls.
No,
okay.
I mean like they're not living like they're in a manor. They're not in like a fortress.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we like they have it close. Like there's stone walls along the side. But where the gate was in the front, that's like a wrought iron sort of intricate gate.
Okay, cool. So yeah, cool. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Let's start, moving, close off the wall. Then yeah, you throw me over.
Fair enough.
Alright, cool. Okay.
So you're about one alley over on the sort of northern side of the manor. It basically is like sort of a rectangle. It goes the northern side is facing out towards where like the lake would be. The eastern side is the back of the manor. The southern side is the like right hand side of the manor, and then the
Got you. Could I do a
western
quick
is where the
perception?
gates are.
Can I do a quick perception to see if we see any guards nearby?
So you kind of like take a peek out of the alley and you look down the way, and you do see 2 guards on the outside of the manor where the gates are. Other than that, from where you are in the alley, you don't see any other guards.
Got you. Is there a way that we can kind of go around these guards and then reach towards one of the walls, or no? Do we have to
well,
go into the
you
line of
basically
sight?
have you're like in an alley. You have the sort of roadway beside the manor.
Yeah.
And then if you continue going down the road is where like the front of the manor would be. So you can actually come out of the alley and then turn left and go down on the northern side of the manor.
Got you. That's not the gate side.
It's not the gate side. It's the
that's
northern
towards the
side.
lake.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the
cool,
northern
cool.
side that doesn't have what you assume doesn't have a gate.
I'd like to go that way.
Okay. So you tuck out of the alley and sort of play it cool and just walk down the northern side, and you do see walking down away from you and continuing towards like the back of the manor a guard, but he's maybe 60 feet ahead of you. Looks like patrolling around the manor.
Got you. Is he moving towards us, or is he just
No,
going
he's
around
moving
the
away
manor?
from you. He's
Got you.
walking
So
away.
yeah, we'll just wait right here. Then once he gets out of sight, we'll just sneak over to the wall.
Okay, yeah, you wait and you see him like turn the corner, and right now it doesn't seem like there's anyone in this alleyway.
Okay, cool. Okay, plan is I'm gonna do some of my shadow watch. You throw me over the fucking wall. Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
Alright, cool. Let's do this. I'm gonna do 2 key points for Pass Without Trace.
Okay, so you're casting Pass Without Trace on yourself.
Yep.
Okay. So Pass Without Trace is on you.
Alright, cool. Throw me over now.
And I'll help him over, and I'm
Okay,
also
make a
going to
strength-
send
make a strength
rope
check.
over as well. Strength check.
Strength check, yeah.
That's an 8.
You attempt to throw Dobby,
Yeah.
and Dobby, you attempt to like scramble up, and you get maybe 8 feet up the wall as he attempts to like lift you at an 8 or 9, maybe 10, and you can't get purchase, and you slide back down.
Instead of throwing him over the wall, he basically just
And you kind of like
tucked him
fall,
right
you
at
fall
it.
back. Yeah, you kind of like go at the wall and like try to scramble up, but you fall back down.
Oh yeah.
And
That hurt.
and
You've been
You're kinda,
eating a
like,
lot
standing
more, haven't
there.
you?
Oh my god, this is perfect.
You just throw me over the wall, not at the wall. Okay.
I mean, this is what happens. You sneak off and eat more rations, and then I can't throw you as high.
Go ahead and make a stealth check, both of you.
Got you.
Cynric says you got fat.
Yo, man, it's my metabolism, man.
Okay, so 23 for Cynric.
And 22 for
Oh
me.
my
And
gosh.
once again, the man
Alright.
mountain has better stealth than
Dude,
you.
I'm telling you, these rolls are trash.
And go ahead and make a
Oh, man.
perception check.
Okay, cool. That's a 15.
Okay. Both of you can hear coming from the front, because you're about halfway down the manor side here. You hear from sort of the front, you can hear a shuffling.
Fuck.
It's still pretty far away, but you know that something's likely coming this way.
Okay, come on, hurry up. Come
Or at
on.
least passing the wall, passing the roadway.
Okay, over, not at, over.
So you're gonna try again?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so make another strength check.
So that time since a 16.
Okay, so Dobby, you managed to grab the top of the wall, but you kind of have to pull yourself up. Go ahead and make an athletics.
Okay.
This should be
Come on.
good.
Don't be fucking stupid. That's a 5.
Oh my god!
You attempt to pull yourself up, but are like hanging there, and you feel your fingers
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
slipping from the side of the wall. And again, you hear the starting to get closer and closer.
Maybe just leave.
Okay.
At this point, I'll try and pull him down so we can hide somewhere as they pass by.
Okay, so
What?
you pull. Well, Dobby, do you let him pull you down, or do you drop off?
Yeah, I just drop off.
Okay,
Fuck it.
you drop off, and the two of you, what are you doing?
I suppose trying to find a spot to hide as they pass by.
I don't
Okay,
think we-
so
I think
you
we're too
kind
far.
of head down, like away,
Okay.
and then sort of around a corner on the back, like around the back end of the manor, and you like kind of hide in a shadow, and you hear the. You wait for a few minutes. It takes a while, but after maybe like, I'll say,
Mhm.
a minute and a half or so,
Mhm.
and I'll just say keep track of this because you have 10 minutes, I believe, of or no, it's an hour.
That's an
right?
hour.
That's an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have an hour. So you hear the steps, and you watch as another guard rounds the side, and you see that there are also two guards at the back of the manor stationed there. It doesn't look like there's a gate, but they're just stationed there, and you watch this guard continue to walk by them, and he kind of like nods at them as he passes by, and then continues around the other side. And you have a feeling that there is now like a rotating sort of patrol of guards going around the
yeah.
manor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, we could always time them and then try again.
Yeah, you know, like once they come around this side, there's like they're likely both at the opposite ends, and they have to like finish their walk, and they're not exactly moving super fast. So you could maybe do like another try, but you're not going to have very many opportunities to do it before like one comes
Somebody-
around the corner and
yeah.
sees you again.
Well, I mean, we can try again, but
You will have an opportunity, so if you want to do it, you can. But yeah, you kind of like are now like, okay, we kind of know how this patrol is working. So there is like a minute amount of time where you have maybe about 30 seconds or so that you can kind of like rush back in and try to jump onto the wall or whatever.
I will just say, luck may not be in our favor in this attempt,
Yeah,
which might not be a terrible thing considering the person.
True. I fucking hate that kid.
Karma.
What are you doing?
Solo. Okay.
You see like another
Um,
guard like pass by again.
Is there any other buildings like up like high, or
There
is that just the
are
highest?
a couple of like houses that you're like
Yeah.
right now you're hiding in a shadow of
a
the
house.
front, like the front of a house.
Yeah.
That like faces out towards the back of the village, this town, and they're there. They're not extremely tall, and there's about 20 feet
Mhm.
between the house and the
nearest
wall
house
of,
and the wall.
and the wall of the Asepher mansion.
But can we see, if we go around the house, can we see over the walls, wall? Can we see over in the courtyard?
You don't
Or
know.
no?
You have to get like you'd have to get on top of the house to see if you could see over. You may
Okay.
be able to. Like you think it's probably high enough. Like it looks like this house, the house itself is probably around like it's got to be higher than 10 feet. So if you get to the top of the roof, you'd probably be able to see.
Yeah,
into
top of the roof,
grounds.
then, Sinricky comes up and then he lifts me up like Simba style, and then I'm seeing, oh yeah, like a fucking eagle. Like a new planet.
But
at
if you're
night.
also on top of a building, you may also be seen by other people as well.
Yeah. I mean, still not curfew yet. Fuck it. Let's do this. Okay, yo, throw me up top, man. Okay?
So we're gonna try this again.
Up this building.
I can't wait to throw you into another
Okay, so
wall.
you're at the front of the house. You're just gonna
Yeah.
have Sinner throw you here.
Just throw me
Try
up
to-
this building.
Please,
Okay.
I
please
mean-
Oh my
pancake him.
god.
Okay.
Before I do that,
Get
can I
arrested.
look around to see what face of the house I'm in? Is there like a door or something?
Is there a door or window?
There's a door. There's a front door that you're kind of like hiding next to the front door. There's like a little porch area, and guys are hiding kind of in the shadow of it. There's a window, but you can't. And there, you can see like some light, but it looks like it's the curtains are drawn on it. And that's what you see. And as you pass by the other side, you notice there was another window, also curtains drawn.
So I'm not gonna throw him, but I am gonna kind of lift him up like as far as I can. Maybe let him stand on my hand so he can
Okay.
actually
All right,
quiet.
go
Okay,
ahead
cool.
and make
Fine.
a stealth. Make a stealth check and then make a strength check.
Gotcha.
So that's a 23 for stealth,
Yeah, so
Oh, okay, no,
33
that was for him.
and 28. Okay, so you guys
and
feel
a
pretty stealthy.
22 for
All
strength.
right, yeah. So
Alright,
you lift him up and pump up, and Dobby, you're able to sort of grab the top of the roof, and you manage to pull yourself up to the top of the roof, and you're
Okay.
on the top of the roof at this point.
Okay. From this angle, can I cusp over what I can see over the wall, or do I just still see
Yeah,
the
so
wall?
you kind of get up to sort of the arch in the roof, and you can kind of like peek over, and you can kind of see in over the wall. Some of it is obscured just from where you are, so you can't see like the right corner of the grounds, but you you can just kind of see over into the back side of the manor, the back side and the northern side of the manor.
Okay,
Just
cool.
briefly.
Do I see any form of movement, like at
Yes,
least a
you
bit?
see. Make a perception check. We'll see how much you
Okay.
see. It's dark,
Let's go.
so you don't
Yeah,
have dark
true.
vision.
That's 9.
Neither of you have dark vision. Oh
I
my
have
god.
no
God.
dark vision.
Oh
You,
my god.
You occasionally, like there are spots of light coming off of the manor, and you will
Okay.
occasionally see a guard walk through the light in the manor, but you don't. It's hard to get a number because as soon as they like walk past the light and into the darkness of certain points, you can't really see. And you see like through the light, you see a few times, and a couple of times you do see like two guards kind of like walking by one another.
Okay.
But the other parts of the grounds are pretty dark, and it's hard to tell. You know from the earlier in the day when you had kind of like stood outside waiting for the group to come back, you did see like gardens and like hedges and stuff like that. So those areas are kind of like where you would assume those would be are pretty dark, and it's hard to see any movement in there.
Got you. Okay, cool. I then peek over the roof, and I'm like, yo, catch me. And I jump down.
Okay, he jumps down like a baby in your arms, Sinric, and you catch him. You rock him
Okay.
for a second, and then
Yep.
you put him down.
So what do we see?
A lot of guards. Like a lot. Like buku. A lot, man. This guy's guards of the ass.
Well,
Buku,
this
a lot of
clearly
guards.
is
Up the ass.
a bad idea.
Yeah,
Might we go back to the bar and rethink the strategy?
yeah, let's let this guy die. I'm good.
By the way, DM, as soon as we're within range of the
You're
mansion,
not yet. You were
Okay.
having a conversation with Sarah. All right, so you guys are heading back.
Yeah.
All right. So as you're heading back, I'll say probably halfway, you, Oriana, are pointing out your message, and ahead of you on the street, it's hard to see because they've still got the shadows around them. But you point and you hear Dobby in your head, Oriana, calling out to you.
Dobsworth.
Other way around.
What?
Or
What?
I hear Oriana's voice.
Yeah,
now.
you hear
Yeah,
Oriana
that's what
calling out to
she
you.
said.
Yeah.
Right. Dobsworth, we have a lead that we're trying to follow up on. You can send a response to this communication.
My response: don't call me fucking Dobsworth. That's it.
Okay, hang on. Technical difficulties again.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We good?
Did we lose
nope.
Chad again?
No.
Yeah, Chad dropped
Yep.
for a second.
Yeah, sorry.
I'll turn
Oh,
it.
okay, got you.
Fix it.
Making a phone call tomorrow.
This guy's
Camera is like falling down.
Turn off your shit. Alright, Chad, go ahead. Alright. Bring it back in. Alright. Sorry, guys. Alright, so. You are,
There we go.
You hear that response, Oriana, and after a few seconds, it's actually like almost as if they're coming out of the shadows. You see Dobby and Senric kind of materialize out of the darkness in front of you.
Thank gods.
Hey, well, where are we going? Where are you going?
The mine.
They're going to the mines.
I like that idea.
Which we should have been gone on mines.
Well, you say
Don't
that, but
start
then
with
you
this
went
shit.
towards.
You were gonna go to the lake, and you were gonna ask what's her name. I didn't care about. We're asking her more questions.
Probably.
Okay, my thing was about
Well-
following the money.
But the questions we asked her provided us with a solid connection to the mines. So now
Literally, the mines were probably our next location. It was the only place we haven't gone yet. Process of elimination.
Okay, Dobby, if you want to be the smart one, that's fine. Anyway, we're gonna go to the mines now.
Julio.
yes, the smart one who tried to break into the most well-guarded place in the city.
Yeah.
Well, we did get a look around. Just
From what I can tell,
But you
most of
didn't
their,
get in,
most
so,
of their
okay,
security is over in their manor houses. So probably the mine's pretty light.
Good time to
Yeah.
check the mine.
Literally, I just confirmed something for you. Oh yeah, another one for
Yes, you
Dobby.
confirmed that it is hard to get into the manor, which we already knew.
All right, can we not waste time?
Let us
Now
just go
it's
to
not the
Please
time
just
for
go
this
and sit arguing.
conversation.
Okay.
All right. So you guys begin heading east. You pass sort of the manor. The guards just give you a nod as you pass by. They don't pay you any mind. And you come sort of around the manor and sort of continue east to the edge of the town, and you see that path that kind of leads out. And there's forest on either side, but you see this path that kind of leads up crests over kind of like a hill. You continue. Dobby, by the time you get to the entrance to the mine area, which is gated shut, your spell has at this point worn off.
Ooh.
And you have a gate with a large chain sort of lock around it. Again, large sort of iron gates. These ones not intricate, just kind of large, probably 12-foot, 14-foot iron gates. And walls on either side that kind of lock this off.
Is there a chain and a lock? Or
Yeah,
is it
there's
just
a lock.
these-
There is a lock.
Okay, cool.
Can we see any people or anyone around?
You
the
do not,
cave?
as you walked up this way, you kept your eye out. You did not see any people.
Is it one of
Seems-
Okay.
those gates that are slatted?
Yes,
So you can't see through?
you look through. It's
Got
pretty dark. You do, I'll say, Bal Taim, because you have the extended dark vision. You do see sort of a rocky sort of formation and an opening to a mouth to a cavern.
Yo, Bull, cast light.
Basically, maybe 90 or so feet from this gate.
Yeah, me and Simmer
Did
can't
you
see
just
shit.
ask him to cast light?
Yes, I can't see anything. If I'm gonna break
While
something
we are
Wow.
trying to sneak in?
Wait, y'all went stealthing while y'all can't see?
Well,
they had torches.
Okay.
I could see them.
Yes, they
Yeah.
had torches, so they could see, but not you. Quite
I
clever.
can see them with the light.
Do you want me to open this lock or not? Because I could just not open this fucking lock.
Well, I can get through.
I mean,
I just
I have
wonder
a
how y'all would get through.
universal key for this lock, and I'm gonna point to my weapon.
Well,
Maybe let's
Uh,
not
maybe-
make this obvious that we have broken into the mines.
Let's try and make this quiet if we can. Loud if we can't.
So,
I'll-
is anyone gonna get some light so I can work my magic or no?
I cast light.
Okay, what are you casting light on?
I'll cast. I have no idea. Dobby, you have a dagger, right?
I need both my hands for my thieves' tools.
Cast it on his eye patch.
Right, but you can like have your dagger in your belt and have the light coming.
I
from
love
you,
that.
Right?
I love
Well,
that.
it would be in his sheath. So
Right,
your
I mean
light would
like
be
on his
covered.
on his
Here.
hilt.
Yeah, so just do it on my
Voltaire.
sheath.
Yeah, like the outside of the dagger. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah,
cool.
you're casting it on his
Okay.
sheath.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you cast the light on your
So
sheath,
it's
so
like
your
coming
sheath
from
glows
up under
brightly.
him, yeah.
Bright brightly.
cool.
It's glowing on your hip.
Oh yeah, let's get this done.
Okay, so go ahead and make a thieves'
As
tools
much
check.
as I don't want to, I'm going to inspire Dobby.
Okay, how do you inspire him?
Let's go with a limerick. Or a pseudo limerick, at least. There once was a man named Dobsworth, whose height kept him close to the earth. He loves to stab, and his temper, quite drab, causes many to take a wide berth.
You feel inspired, Dobby?
Well, yeah, don't call me that name.
Extra
and,
inspired because you've got that
um,
little bit of anger in you.
Thieves' tools.
It's Dex. Use Dex.
Got you. Alright.
So it should be Dex plus prof.
Boom, boom, boom.
So it should be +6.
Please don't.
Unless you took
suck.
unless you took expertise in it, and then it should be double.
I didn't.
prof.
I didn't take. I don't have expertise yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
he's not a
Yeah.
rogue.
That's right. I forgot that. Always
okay,
forget that.
so it's +4, 1d4. I mean, roll 1d4.
Wait, why are you getting 1d4? Oh,
Yeah, not
because of
1d4.
it's not 1d4. It's 1d6.
It's 1d6. Yeah.
1d6, yeah.
So roll a d6.
15.
Okay. It's not that difficult to lock. It's fairly straightforward. It's just to keep people out. You put your tools in, and with the little bit of inspiration and anger, at first you're having trouble clicking, and you feel, and you're just like, ah, don't call me Dosworth, and you get the tumbler in, and you lift it, and you feel the chick as it opens up, and you are able to unchain the lock, or pull out the lock from the chain and sort of unchain it, and the gates kind of open quietly as you push them and kind of leave the chain on one side to potentially use later on, or you can wait till everyone goes through and like relock it. It's up to you.
Wait until everybody goes through and I'm relocking it.
Okay, so everyone, the rest of you kind of shuffle in. Dobby and Sinric, you help him close it. You rewrap the chain, and feeding your arms through, because the bars are pretty wide, you are able to relock the gates behind you.
Cool. Let's get going.
All right. You guys begin your trek, and as you get within 60 feet of this cavern entrance, Perry, Oriana, and Quinn, you also see this sort of large, maybe 12-foot tall, sort of 15-foot wide mouth of this cavern. It looks pretty pitch black inside. And as you continue walking forward, you see that you're coming to the entrance to the mines, and you can see that it's just a path that kind of leads downwards. Just rocky sort of walls all around you as you continue forward. You continue walking in. It's maybe a 2 or so minute walk, and as you descend the path into the darkness, a new sound reaches your ears. The gentle, rhythmic lapping of water on stone. Coming to the bottom of the path, you can see that the final portion, and indeed the entire floor, are covered in a layer of murky water, and the passage itself opens into a large corridor roughly 20 feet wide with rocky walls. The passage continues for about 50 feet before making a sharp turn to the right.
DM, Quick
Yes.
question.
Mhm.
So we just got into here, right? We didn't just travel. It's only been what, like 10,
It's like
15
it
minutes?
took you. I told you like a couple of minutes. So
Got you.
I was maybe because you're walking
Yeah.
a few hundred feet
So it's still relatively close to the
to
front
the
of mine.
entrance. Yeah.
Yeah, to the
Yeah.
front of mine. Yeah.
This place is flooded.
See, I know
think
it.
it's safe to say that the mine is no longer operating. Peregrine,
Where's this water coming from?
what do you think?
I am going to shift back into the Mastiff. I'm going to take a big sniff of this water.
Go ahead and make a
Oh,
perception
gross.
check.
Can
So that's one of your
It's
your
worth an
wild shapes because
inspiration.
you would have got them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
think
You
it's worth an
want to
inspiration.
give her an inspiration? Okay, go ahead and.
Go ahead, go ahead.
How are
wanna
you
make
going to inspire her?
Well, now that she's a puppy, this one makes sense. Who let the druid out? Who?
All right. You hear the
You're fired.
Like a
the
disadvantage
chant, and
there.
Perry, you feel
Yeah,
inspired.
negative
So go ahead and make
D6.
your perception check.
All right.
Roll the d6 and
So,
some
oh
trash.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Six.
D6.
Okay. Good.
Hey, it's a good thing I did it.
Oh man.
Roll high, roll high. Oh, that's
So
pretty good.
15.
All right, 4.
This smells like what you smelled.
I'm gonna
It's the stagnant lake water
Mm-hmm.
with a hint of dirt and stone.
See,
Okay.
Dobby's gonna start putting out his notes. Yeah, this is gonna be.
You're pulling out his note. He's pulling out his notes.
it's his
Yeah.
murder
He's
map.
gonna pull out his
He's got a
murder
murder.
map?
He's got a murder map, and he's just
Okay.
like pulling out papers. And
Okay.
just,
The water. Yeah.
Yes, the water.
Why is the water in this mine?
That's what
Well,
I
for-
just asked.
First off, Perry, you're still a dog, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna lean down and kind of do the scritch behind the ears thing. Are we in the right? Are we in the right place?
I'm gonna like wag my tail.
That's a
Yes.
good sign.
okay, so this opening, right? Like, does it submerge underwater, or is it
No,
just
it looks
water?
like
It's just a
it looks
puddle.
like there's a layer of water. Maybe it's hard to tell. You can't you've basically been going on a steady sort of like little decline, and the water starts. You're not sure how deep it goes. You definitely can't really see. Even with you like pulling your like
Yeah, with
using your
the
sheath.
scabbard, yeah.
It's murky, like opaque looking
yeah, that's
water.
gross.
You can't really see into it. It's not clean, clear water.
Yeah, that's disease water right there. That's gross.
Well, then don't drink it.
Yeah.
Dobby,
This is nowhere near the lake, though. I assume.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
only been walking a few feet.
How's the water here? Yeah, what's up? What's going on?
you might want to get a more advantageous position.
Being in the front. Yeah, I'm gonna be in the front.
Well, I meant higher up.
What?
Higher up. And I point at Sinric.
How tall is this? How tall is the ceiling now? Is it tall?
Hang on, we're having technical difficulties once more.
Oh, okay, got you. Snap.
Just 1 second, guys.
Yeah, I just muted myself now. I was trying to hear if there
No, we're back.
audio.
Oh shit, man!
So
I'm a
Damn.
fucking dog right now.
guys-
That's not nice.
Oh yeah,
God damn it!
can you move your token
Yeah,
out?
I'll pull the mastiff out.
Perry, I'll just put you on this side over here. The mastiff.
Hello,
On
mastiff with 5 hit points. You're gonna. be going
Sinric, why
soon,
did you pull
dude.
yourself back on? You're already there.
Because I
Because he's
was
cloned.
looking at a different section of the map and
Oh.
didn't see any tokens.
But yes, this is what you see. I'm just gonna move this for the group to see everyone.
Crash.
And yeah, so you see this
Damn.
figure come out, and yeah, you hear the shriek, and you watch as this blue light envelopes her, and the waves come down, and you have met potentially where this water has been coming from. All right, well, thank you everyone for sticking with us. Like I said, I ended this early because I was worried that if we did this battle, we would end up going way later than I could handle, as I have things to do in the morning. But yeah, they've made it to this strange spirit, and they are going to be dealing with it in some way. We'll see.
Zoinks, y'all. Just
Thank you for the
zoinks.
raid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
thanks,
you very
guys.
much.
Yeah, that was
thanks for the
awesome.
raid.
We appreciate y'all. Yeah, we're actually almost to affiliate. I think we might have enough followers now to actually be pretty close to it.
Yep.
We just have to.
Do yeah.
I'm
we just
gonna
have
exit.
to-
I'm gonna
so
exit.
yeah,
my
I
view
think
and
we're
see.
pretty much gonna be affiliates. So like, thank you so much for making that happen for us. We're a
Yeah,
small
that's
little
awesome.
indie group that have been just trying to be consistent and do some fun shit every week, and we appreciate you guys coming in and watching. I think this is the second time that is it Zeltaris has rated us, so
Yes, thank you very much.
super
Yes,
huge
Yeah,
thank you to
so
Zeltaris.
much.
Much, guys.
Yeah, so like big, heart for you guys. But yeah, thanks for watching us. We hope you enjoyed the session. Please share us with your fellow D&D lovers if you enjoyed what we did. I know we had a few technical difficulties tonight,
And
unfortunately,
they were
but
all my fault, so
but,
just,
Yeah,
fire
we'll get
me.
that sorted. We
yeah,
promise.
we'll figure that out next time. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it didn't disrupt too much. And just the best way to help us grow is to spread the word. And yeah, we're super appreciative of all the followers we have and try to engage with you as much as possible. And like I said earlier, we're trying to think of another sort of regular show that we can kind of stream. Obviously not as long as a full D&D session, but we've got some good ideas, and we're probably going to be rolling that out pretty soon. So please, keep an eye out for that. And yeah, remember, folks, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Have a great Friday, make good choices, and we hope to see you back next week for the conclusion of this murder mystery. See y'all later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
Night, y'all.
All right.
Night, everybody.